neighborhood. Call Joe Murray.
I happen to trust Joe Murray.
First time I ever met Joe Murray was at
Welcome in 98.5, the Sports Hub of Joe Murray. Full show tonight. It's NFL Draft Week. It's NBA playoffs. I'm coming off a Vegas trip for WrestleMania. Red Sox underway at the moment. You can join us at 617-779-0985 or also on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com, follow 98.5 The Sports Hub. You have to subscribe. And then you can join the show and join the chat as well. So I'm back, and know what we have right off the top of the hour? Breaking news.
This is Breaking Sports News. Powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
NBA awards are being announced tonight. And Payton Pritchard named the Kia Sixth Man of the Year award. Again, Payton Pritchard named Sixth Man of the Year. Congratulations to Payton Pritchard. I would just like to take a victory lap. I wish I got it at 60-1. But instead, we got it at 40-1 plus 4,000. If you took it, you hit big. Payton Pritchard, Sixth Man of the Year. Well deserving of it. Made more threes than anybody off the bench in history. The team, of course, broke a franchise record for three-pointers in a season, but Payton Pritchard has been named Sixth Man of the Year. So, add another one to the Celtics' long list of achievements for this season. This just coming out. The recipient, it's the John Havlicek Award. NBA Sixth Man of the Year to his contributions in his role. 14 points per game, almost 4 rebounds, by the way, and 3.5 assists per game. So we have that. Now, the sixth player award in Celtics history. Kevin McHale won it twice, 84-85. Bill Walton won it in 1986. If you remember, Malcolm Brogdon just a couple of years ago won it in 2023. And this year, Payton Pritchard. So a very nice list for Pritchard to be named Sixth Man of the Year. Again, I just wanted to say we gave it to you at the beginning of the year. I'll repost the article right now so you have it. But cash that slip, baby. Payton Pritchard, Sixth Man of the Year. So that's not even the opening take. We're back. We're starting hot. And where do we start? Well, the news of one Jason Tatum. I thought personally we'd be talking about the injury to Jaylen Brown in his knee. To me, he looked just fine in game one. I watched the game. But it was the Celtics' other star, Jason Tatum, who would have the injury scare. Joe Mazzulla said Jason Tatum went through some stuff at practice, listed him as day-to-day with a wrist injury. So the whole watching from afar, again, I was at a casino watching the game. I'm sitting in Mandalay Bay watching it, just after a great brunch, which I'll get to later on in the day, that I'm sure you're all looking forward to hearing about. But I was just curious why they weren't shooting threes early on. We'll get into the whole game, but it looks like there is a report today by Shams that Jason Tatum is dealing with a wrist injury. And he is now listed as doubtful for game 2 tomorrow night. So, whatever you want to believe about the injury report, is he going to play, all that, we'll get into that. My leadoff thought on it is, we've known all along, for 2 seasons now, that Jason Tatum needs wrist surgery. And the person who's been all over this, by the way, is Ramona Shelbourne. 2 years ago, I remember talking about this. Before the season started, last year, their championship year, Tatum came off the ankle injury. They reloaded. They got Kristaps Porzingis. He could have had surgery. Instead, he went for the cortisone shot. They won the NBA championship. There wasn't one mention this year about that wrist or having surgery again. Now, he could have. They won the championship. He could have had surgery. They could have walked through it. He could have been ready to go for the second half. No. He did have the ankle scare, which, again, he had 2 years ago. But nobody should be surprised that Jason Tatum is dealing with some sort of wrist injury or that it got re-aggravated. He's been dealing with this for 2 seasons. Now, if you want to talk about three-point percentage or why it's low or his shooting or whatever, you can attribute it to that. You certainly can. And I know the team philosophy is shooting threes, and he wasn't great in the first game of the playoffs, and neither was truly Brown or Porzingis. But we've always known this wrist thing has been here. So I personally think he's dealing with a wrist and an ankle. Both things, I think, are happening. And are they maybe a little gamesmanship here with being doubtful on the injury report and potentially the hard foul that happened, all that? Of course. This is the Celtics. They do it. They embellish. It happens all the time. And you know what? To be truthful, I do think that there were some hard fouls here. I do. And yeah, are they embellishing? Hell yeah, they are. But everybody does this. Do I have to just, again, Celtics fans, I don't know if you've watched the Celtics Netflix documentary, but do I have to remind you that a wheelchair got brought out for Paul Pierce in the finals? But today, I got back today, okay, from Vegas. The things that I heard today regarding Jason Tatum, and I'm not calling anybody out because this happens nationally. It's just a narrative in general, but I heard it here in Boston today. The guy who just won a championship healthy hurt his ankle and lost the Game 7 when he wasn't healthy. So I do think that there's a story here. But may I remind you that I heard this stuff today. Questioning Jason Tatum's toughness. The guy plays every single game. You have to beg this guy to come out of games. But today I'm hearing about boy who cried wolf. He needs to be tougher. He's not mentally tough. Are we talking about the same guy here at Jason Tatum? This is the story of Tatum. He's not this. He's not that. He just wins. And when he's not healthy, that's the only time they've lost. So the reason why I'm bringing this up, the storyline is this. He's got a wrist injury. He's got an ankle. Jaylen Brown's dealing with a knee. Can the Celtics win a championship with their top 2 stars dealing with injuries? If you want to say they're not tough, I think this is the time for them to show it. I think Jason Tatum's tough. He plays every game. Dude hurt his ankle a couple of weeks, was back 2 games later. I do think he's tough. I think he's mentally tough. He might be boring. He might not shoot the 3 the way that you wanted to on a team that shoots the 3. But to call him the boy who cries wolf, I know his mom was in there saying, do you want me to go to the other team? I actually like that. LeBron's mom. There's many moms. Get it? Sure. Have at it. But to question toughness, boy who cried. I couldn't believe what I was hearing today. This is Jason Tatum. Guys, Tom Brady has been listed as questionable or doubtful. He got hurt in practice once. Remember the Rex Burkhead thing? Oh, is he going to play? Blah, blah, blah. Did anybody question Tom Brady's toughness? This guy just won a championship healthy. They lost when he wasn't healthy. This is the story now of the Celtics playoff run. You wanted the story. You wanted some sort of newsworthy note to talk about to keep you interested for the playoffs. Here you go. Can Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and the Boston Celtics win a championship not being 100%? We'll leave it there at 617-779-0985. We got a full house tonight. Skaz is here. We got intern Josh here. Street Team Joe's back there as well. We got to order something tonight, man. I'm ready to go. I'm back from Vegas, ready to lead off with the Celtics. We got breaking news. Payton Pritchard, 6th man of the year. Hope you cashed that ticket, baby. We'll go on a break. We got more on the green coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
What is the latest status on him moving forward?
Christine, sources tell me that Jason Tatum underwent an MRI on that right wrist over the last 24 hours, and he has been diagnosed with a bone bruise in his shooting wrist. It's believed to be a pain tolerance injury, something that the Celtics will be managing day to day, and his status is somewhat up in the air for Game 2 on Wednesday. It's very hard for a guy like Jason Tatum to miss any period of time. He loves playing basketball, but that injury clearly might be something that lingers for a little bit for someone that led the Celtics in points, rebounds, and assists for the entire playoffs in 2024, plus the finals.
All right, back here in 98.5 The Sports Hub, I'm Joe Murray. That was Sham Charania talking about the news today that Jason Tatum is listed as doubtful for Game 2. My thoughts is I think he's playing tomorrow. If you want to be one of those people who think the Celtics are embellishing, that's fine. I don't want to call it embellishing because he doesn't have to play for them to win this series. He doesn't. In a way, because it's his wrist and at the fact that they want to shoot more threes. But you know that Orlando's like the worst three-point shooting team in the NBA, right? So maybe if Tatum's out for a game, they might be able to get like another guy who can shoot the ball pretty well in there, a Hauser, Pritchard, one of those guys. So like the embellishment stuff and saying, oh, it's the Celtics and this is what they do. Yes, it is what they do. But you know what? Other teams do this too. When hard fouls happen, it's gamesmanship. Doc Rivers used to do this all the time. Come on. When they had a bad game and they got no calls, he'd go right at the officials. And what would happen the next night? They'd get all the calls. Oh, stop it. All of you people. Stop it. Paul Pierce left in a wheelchair. I watched it. By the way, it's the HBO Max documentary for those that care. I know that people really care. There's so many damn streaming services. I just say Netflix. I'm human. Sorry. And I don't apologize. And I'm not even sorry either. Anyways, the embellishment's real. It's a playoff series. Don't get me wrong. Was Orlando playing more physical and the Celtics didn't like it? Yep. Was really anybody going to give them credit for that? No. But Al Horford, by the way, I think Horford came in hot, just like I have today, and got a couple of early fouls in the game that were whack, by the way. So the whole embellishment thing, fine. The Celtics do it. When it comes to injuries, do you want to look back on the Celtics and say that they haven't been honest? I think that's the old regime. I really do. I think the old Celtics regime did that. They have a new medical staff in there. At least they have for the last couple of years. So if you want to do it, fine. But this is a playoff series. You're up 1-0 against a young team. How do they now respond to the Celtics maybe thinking that they were more physical? Or do the Celtics now bounce back? They out-rebounded them in the second quarter, right? Like they defended the three-point well in the first half, right? Wasn't it a tale of two halves? And in the end, the team with more depth and better coaching won? That was the story in Game 1. This is a series. There's a little bit of gamesmanship. It's what happens here. But the whole, will you play? Will he play? I think he will. I think he will. And I just had some guy say, hey, if you start your show today on Tatum's mentality or emotional damage. No, I'm against all of that. And I heard that all day long today. Here. You know what? I really am. Skaz, I got to bring you in. How you doing? Everything good? I heard you had some many different partners this week.
Oh, yeah. I'm doing great, Joe. It's good to have you back. You're rested, fired up.
I'm good.
You're coming in hot.
We got breaking news off the top and we're cashing slips. So
Cashing checks.
By the way, some guy put not me, but somebody put $441, won $35,000 on that bet. And they hit me up about it.
Love that.
Yes.
That's what it's all about.
Somebody from DraftKings just contacted me about this. So shout out DraftKings. If you want to come back on with it, we're here because we just you're paying somebody $35,000. We were mocked for that. You know that?
What else is new,
No,
Joe?
we were mocked for this, Skaz. No, I want to take a bow.
You deserve it, Joe.
No, it's like we deserve it.
You were the first man on the Payton Pritchard train.
And I got to give our old intern, Joey Medeiros. He wrote about this. He brought up the candidates. I know you have some info on this, by the way, because I want to get back into the Tatum stuff. But what was the voting on that, by the way?
Yeah, so for Bill Simmons and the other people that were really petitioning almost for Malik Beasley and the Beasley campaign for Sixth Man of the Year. Payton Pritchard received 82 first-place votes for Sixth Man of the Year, and Malik Beasley received 13 votes for 13 first-place votes for Sixth Man of the Year. So I would call that a landslide victory.
Oh, but the landslide brought it down. Now it was Payton Pritchard. That was a Fleetwood Mac quote for those that were wondering about that one. Skaz, on Tatum. You worked last night. I believe we had Alex, Barth, and Kendra in last night.
Yes, the kids' crew, they were calling
no
it.
Cattles?
No Cattles.
Oh. I heard Dundero was here a couple of nights.
Yes, Mark was here.
He's not here to defend himself, but I, while at a blackjack table, had someone tweet at me, Joe, Dundero's killing Tatum. He's killing Tatum. So I'm like, dude, leave me alone. Leave me alone. So today, the first thing that happens, guys, I put on sports radio today. Tatum's soft. He's the boy who cries wolf. Look at him they had to yell at him to get up. So again, I'm at a casino. I'm in the desert. I'm about to go to WrestleMania night 2. I just had the Bacchanal buffet at Caesars. I saw that the Celtics got out in the first quarter. The second quarter, they struggled. And then they just ran away with it in the third. So, like, the Tatum stuff, maybe you watched it probably a little bit tightly than I did. Was there embellishment in acting? What were your thoughts on this?
Yeah, Joe, I thought it... First of all, I didn't think it was an egregiously dirty play. It was a hard foul in the playoffs. No problem with that. Tatum went down. Took him a second to get back up. A lot being made of the Missoula yelling at him, Tatum's mom after the game, saying, you want me to go into the locker room, all that stuff. To me, I'm shocked that this is, shocked is maybe a little strong, but surprised maybe by, I guess it's just people are sick of the draft talk and people don't want to talk about the Bruins or Tristan Cassis anymore. So this is what we do in Boston, Joe, is we go at the biggest name, the face of the NBA. We go at the face of the NBA in Boston, certainly. Jason Tatum, he gets all the criticism. I would say very little of the praise. The boy who cried wolf, Joe.
What
does that mean? Like I know what it means, but wouldn't that be someone who?
Did you hear it?
No, I didn't hear it. Thankfully, I did not. I heard your reaction to it in our Slack channel earlier today, but. Because
again, you're right. It's draft week.
Yeah,
we're reaching for stories. This is why I wanted to say that my leadoff take is: can the Celtics win a championship with both Brown and Tatum injured? Which carry on. That's my take, but carry on. I was going to say about the boy who cried wolf thing.
Yeah, the boy who cried wolf would be a guy who seems like he's constantly injured or missing actual games. I can't remember Jason Tatum ever doing that. If anything, he's the opposite of that, where he is actually banged up and never talks about it because he doesn't miss games. So I must have missed something with that analogy. Yeah, I think Jason Tatum will be out there tomorrow night. If he's not, that's obviously a massive concern for Celtics fans. He is the best player on the Celtics. You need him to win a championship. You will not win a championship without a healthy Jason Tatum, especially this season with the talent you'll see going forward. I don't think you would have a problem with the Magic per se if Tatum misses a game or two, but certainly, a championship I don't think is happening without a healthy Jason Tatum. But a bone bruise, couple days, I think he'll be perfectly fine.
He's been dealing with this for 2 years. We know this, right? Like I remember last year or during the offseason, I remember I tried to be like, hey, is he going to have surgery?
Yeah, there were rumors after they lost to Golden State that he was going to have surgery, but because the season went so long and he didn't want to miss the beginning of the next season, I don't believe he had it. And then last year, I think those same rumors kind of came up, and with the Olympics, he didn't want to miss that, so he was there again. So yeah, Tatum's wrist is always kind of been a thing. So I don't know. He looked all right when he came back and played the rest of the game. Looked fine to me. He didn't miss the end of the game.
I think he needs surgery. Do I think he could play tomorrow? Yeah. Do I think he's going to play tomorrow? Yes. I do. I think he's going to play. Do you know how hard it is to keep this guy? We talk about this all the time.
Yeah, Brad Stevens has mentioned it multiple times. Missoula has mentioned it multiple times.
The night, remember Phoenix? They didn't have to play in that game.
And the Missoula thing, anyone that thinks that Missoula was calling Tatum out or thought Tatum was acting, that's not what happened at all. Joe is a basketball psychopath. I say that, endearingly. That's why we love him. And so is Tatum. And, I think that's just Joe being Joe. I think no one wants Tatum on the court more than Missoula or Tatum. They both want the exact same thing. They want to win basketball games together. And so I thought the Missoula thing was funny, if anything at all. I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah. You know what? But the way this is what happens when you're not in the know, you're not watching every day, the casual listener. You would think that he was on the ground and that Joe Missoula was yelling at him to get up. Like, stop, stop showing that you're hurt, or maybe you're going a little too far. That was the way I heard it today. But I did watch the game. I did see him take the hit. I did see him go down. I saw him fall on his wrist. The same wrist that he's had injury issues with. I know people think that we're green teaming. But I just think that anybody who watches the Celtics or has watched the Celtics every night, this wrist thing has been something he decided not to do 2 years ago. And he could have did it this offseason, and he didn't again. And Ramona Shelbourne is the one that mentioned it. Was she the one who broke the news that he hurt his wrist recently? Or was it Shams? Did Shams had this report about the bone bruise,
yes,
right?
That was Shams, I believe.
See, I feel like she was on something else with him. And I'm curious about her sources on this as well, but she was the first one to mention his wrist. And I'm going to look back. I feel like she's been on this one for a while. Do you think the Celtics can win with both Tatum and Brown dealing with injuries with a knee and a wrist?
No.
Wow.
You're not. I don't think you're winning a title if Brown and Tatum aren't at least 85%. If they're seriously hobbled, you're not winning a title.
Did they look serious?
No, I don't think they are.
So that's yeah. All I can go by is we have a show.
I thought Jalen looked all right. I thought he looked fine to me.
And I don't know. Isn't the story of the Celtics that Porzingis, Brown, and Tatum didn't really play well?
Yes.
I thought Tatum played well. He just didn't score.
He had 14 rebounds. They need him to rebound against the Magic. That's kind of what makes Tatum so good is he changes how he plays based on the matchup. You people might not like that, but that is the truth.
Where I was going with this was in the rundown, but the Celtics team does pick up the slack because they're the best team. They got nothing really much from Brown, Porzingis, and Tatum. Not their average nights. How about that? But was Derek White, again, elite? Was Drew Holiday a menace defensively? Did Payton Pritchard score in a high volume? Yes. This is why they're hard to beat. Oh, may I throw one more in there? I thought Missoula was the better coach in the second half.
Yeah, second half for sure.
It was finally a day where I went, hey, you know what? Missoula. Because there's games this year where I thought Missoula's been outcoached. There are. But I actually thought him yelling, get up, is his mentality.
Yes.
Not about, hey, you're selling it. And B, I thought he made the adjustments late in the game. Their starters were struggling. Their stars were struggling.
Joe,
they leaned on the three-point shot and it worked.
When you're watching a game and Tom Brady takes a big hit or whoever it is, someone on one of your teams, isn't your first thought, get up?
Yes.
Like that's what you're hoping for. That's what you want. Missoula just happened to yell it out loud because he's the coach.
Yes.
But that's what I think every time. When Tatum hits the deck, my first thought is get up. Please get up.
I know I'm crossing sports, but when Tom Brady went down in 2008, he left for the game. He was back at practice on Tuesday trying to play. Like, it wasn't like Brady got stretchered out, see you later. No, he was at practice trying to play. Tatum is the same kind of psycho. So I don't want to hear he's not tough.
Tatum isn't soft. He's quiet. There's a very big difference there. I'm sorry that some people can't see that, but he's quiet.
Speaking of that, Skaz, the NBA ratings are down, huh? Who's the face of the NBA? There's just this debate of who the face of the NBA is. I saw Greeny write this earlier. All you have to do is look at, I don't know. He goes like, this is Greeny. Reaction, discourse, narrative coming out of game 1 performances. Tatum went 8 for 22, 1 for 8 from 3. Ant went 8 for 22. SGA, 4 for 13. They all won game 1 by blowouts. But only one player is talked about, right?
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of people complaining about SGA's performance.
But the opening weekend of the NBA playoffs averaged, 4.4 million viewers.
I mean, SGA, right? His whole thing was how many games he averaged over 25 points, and he's the MVP. Playoffs happen. He scored 15 points.
Hey, why aren't we talking about that?
He must have a bunch of rings, Joe, right?
This is why Tatum is the best player in the NBA. Because he can have a performance like this. His team can win in a blowout fashion. But he wasn't good enough. Oh, and the ratings are down. They suck. Did you see how many people watched? They watched a 2 seed and a 7 seed over all the 1 seeds.
I wonder why.
The Celtics are boring, Skaz.
That's what I'm told, Joe.
They're boring. You want your storyline. Here we go. Can the Celtics win a championship with Tatum and Brown hurt? And by the way, Porzingis is always one play away from being injured as well.
Especially against a team like the Magic. They love to mix it up.
In a way, I almost respect it out of the Magic because they don't have the talent.
Absolutely. You saw the Pistons doing it last night.
Oh, did you see? Oh.
We might have to wait for Josh to come back. You got him cutting video.
I know, he's not here, but you want to talk about...
You want to talk about soft?
You want smelly? Fishy? Fish. That guy flops around everywhere. He's a little fish just flopping around. He's a little basketball flopper. I'm in my chair flopping. That guy, you want to talk about floppers? That guy should get fined. They should fine his ass for the way he's always trying to. I don't respect it. I respect the Magic for what they're doing because they suck. The Knicks, they're good, but they suck. So I already have them out of it anyways. I know they won the other night, but anyways, 617-779-0985. Alan is in Somerset.
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good, man.
I just wanted to call and thank you because me and my buddy, we bet Payton Pritchard to win Sixth Man of the Year when he was plus 6,000 when you recommended the bet back in October.
So you got it at 60 to 1.
Yeah, well, we bet 70. We're bringing home 4,200. So,
Holy
60 to 1, right?
Smokes! Good for you guys. You splitting that?
Yeah, and because you mentioned it on the air back like October 21st last year.
Well, you know what? I'm not here for the, you don't have to send me a tip on Venmo or my Twitter account. You don't have to do that. But I do appreciate you listening, and I appreciate that you guys put up the money and believed in it.
Yeah, thank you. And then have you ever been to Goldenrod for chicken tenders? Because I know you were talking about chicken tenders that night too. Up in Manchester.
Listen, we're looking for somewhere to eat tonight. So
okay,
where is that? In Manchester?
Yeah, Manchester, New Hampshire. It's called Goldenrod. It's pretty good chicken tenders.
I gotta go to Manchester, man. No, we're not going to Manchester tonight. But you know what? I'm gonna look it up, Alan. I appreciate you. Chicken rods, huh? Charles Barkley has a comment on Payton Pritchard winning the Sixth Man. I had some other stuff I wanted to bring up. I know we're starting Celtics here. I missed time. Hey, the draft's on Thursday. We're doing a big draft party. It's at the Brook. So come on out. Alex Barth will be there. The Nine Dragons, Kowloon. Got that collab going on that night. I know. What else do we have going on? I don't know. We're here until 11 o'clock. We got a full house here. We'll get to the headlines. Red Sox are underway as well. We'll give you the score right now.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, Payton Pritchard is the Sixth Man of the Year in the NBA. He won in a landslide. I believe it was 84% of the vote, which is good. Very good. It means that he was the decisive Sixth Man of the Year. Hopefully you all cashed your tickets on that. The big news, though, is Jason Tatum is doubtful for game 2. He's dealing with a wrist injury. He was at practice today. He's been dealing with this wrist injury for a couple of years now, but listed as doubtful for game 2. Red Sox and Mariners underway, tied at 1. Bottom of the 3rd inning, Brian Bayo making his season. Oh, we're just catching up on what I've missed since. Oh, God. All right, Joe, what are we eating? We gotta figure out what we're gonna eat. I'm starving. Anyway, let's take some calls. I know people want to sell. Listen, I wish I took it at 60-1, the Payton Pritchard. I got it at 40-1 because I felt good about it. When it went from 60 to 40, I'm like, all right, I might have to jump on this thing. So congrats to those that got the 60-1. I've been retweeting them. And again, somebody on DraftKings hit for $35,000 on this one. So shout out. Shout out to our old intern, Joey Medeiros, who's on the line right now. Joey, I know you were all over it. I should retweet your article, bud. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Joe. How are you? I wanted to call in and just congratulate you on what a good take you had, man. That was,
well, listen, you know what? You win some, you lose some. You know what I mean? What'd you get? What'd you get?
Remember the good ones.
What'd you get at that? What'd you get at that?
Oh, I didn't. I wasn't able to bet on it when I was doing the sports hub. I was an athlete, so you know.
Oh, okay, I got you. You're a good soldier, Joe. But yes, I actually, it was funny. I needed to go back in time because I'm gonna wait for the slip because I didn't do it through an app, but I did it through elsewhere. But yes, I saw your article today. I'm going to retweet it, but you had a nice breakdown of why he should be Sixth Man of the Year, so good on you as well, bud.
Thank you, yeah. I just wanted to mention one thing about this whole Tatum thing that's going on right now, too. I agree with you guys. It's totally overblown. I mean, they want to point out how he shot the 3-ball, but he only shot 1 3 after he got his wrist injured, and I don't know if you saw Joe that game, but off the ball, he was still doing pretty well. He was making plays. He was still rebounding. He was still playing defense. This Tatum hate, man, I'm over it.
I'm over it, too, but I do think it's a story, Joe, that can the Celtics win a championship if both Tatum and Brown are hurt? I think that's the story, bro.
That's true.
Do you think they can?
Oh, 100%. I think, look at the guys that we got flying around. Derek White scoring 20 points. I mean, he can do that any night. We got guys like Chris Goss who really didn't even do all that much. I mean, they took Brown out early, too, because of the whole knee injury. This team, I'm fully confident with the way that Payton Pritchard's playing now that they can go in and win the chip even if both of them are on limited minutes.
All right, Joey. Appreciate you calling in, man. I'm going to reshare your story, bud. You did a good job on that.
Thank you.
You got it, buddy. Take care. Hey, they are all interns. Imagine him being like, hey, I'm a college athlete. I can't bet on that. Good guy, huh? What a good guy. Hey, Justin and Lynn, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, how you doing, Joe?
How's it going?
I just had some thoughts. How was Vegas show?
Yeah, dude, you'll hear all about it later.
Yeah, but I just want to give a thought on the Celtics. I think people are overreacting, especially in this series. I think Jason Tatum, the Celtics will be fine without Jason Tatum in this series. I think as the playoffs go on, the challenge will get tougher if we have to play without him, but I don't think, for right now, I think they're fine without him. They can win this series against Orlando without him, and I just wanted your thoughts, Joe.
Yeah, they can win the series. I'm not even worried about that. Can they beat Cleveland? Can they beat New York? Can they beat Indy? Can they beat somebody in the Western Conference? I will say this. When I get on the hey, everybody's on Tatum, look, SGA did this or that's all real, and we should all be used to that. But the story is, like, if Tatum and Brown are injured, like, that's and I can only go by when Tatum was injured, they lost. And I asked Skaz, I said, hey, Skaz, can they win a championship if they're both injured? He said no. I don't know. So that would be 50-50 no, Skaz. Usually it's 50-50 yes. I'm going to say on this one it's 50-50 no. If Tatum and Brown are both injured. I'm just going by the last thing I saw. Brown didn't look hobbled, and Tatum, although his three-point shot's always like this, like, who cares? So I'm going off the last thing I saw. I think they can. But If they're really injured, 50-50 no. Ethan's in Worcester. What's up, Ethan?
Hey, what's up, Joe? Glad you're back, brother.
Nice.
So I don't know. Did you watch the Knicks game last night?
I did. I saw Jalen Brunson flopping around.
Exactly. So, and to kind of gear in with my point, I don't know if many people know this. Jalen Brunson's dad is one of the assistant coaches of the Knicks, and visibly has to hold back Jalen Brunson every single game. But here in Boston and the local media are honing in on Tatum, which obviously is going to happen, whatever, because of the situation with his mom and what happened after. And I just feel that's just a common theme in the NBA and other sports as well. And I just don't think it's just Tatum, and I think it just makes me so frustrated that it's Tatum just gets all this slander and he barely speaks ever.
Embrace it, Ethan. Embrace it. Just embrace it, bro, because, SGA didn't play well. Ant didn't play well, right? But who's the guy who didn't play well, who's actually injured, right? Or has an issue. So just embrace it, bro. And when they win back-to-back, if they do win back-to-back, it's just like what Tatum said. What are they going to say next?
That's true. And, with the 50-50, I agree with you. But who do you think would be able to step up if that was the case, just hypothetical?
Well, I think Tatum will be on the floor no matter what. Wrist or not, he's going to be on the floor. But if he's not the same guy because of his wrist or afraid to go to the hoop or not shooting as much and not playing like Tatum, that's not 100% Tatum. That's not, I don't know if they can win like that. He does a lot. Who would step up in this place? God. You'd probably have to lean on Horford a little bit more. Hauser? I mean, the guy I'd break glass of is Shireman, but you're not going to win if that's the case. If we're looking at who's going to step up, you're not going to win. Hey, I want to take a quick break because I wanted to hit on this. The drafts on Thursday, I wanted to go inside the draft room from last year. Let's do that next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Become a top performer with UMass Lowell.
Vegas. We'll do the Vegas stuff later on in the show. I know we got in or outs at the top of the hour. I've been sending stuff all day to Skaz. And the regulars, Carrie Ann in Seattle's in there. Ein Bein. We just got our locals. Ryan's in there. John. Some new people. Stephanie's in there. Who else we got? Chuck Olson. What's up, buddy? Chop Johnson is online right now. What's up, Chop?
Yo.
How you doing?
I just had a religious experience.
Okay, tell me about it. The Lord has risen.
I went to McDonald's to get my double fillet of fish.
Yes.
And they had McCrispy strips with a creamy chili sauce. Oh my God. It was awesome, Joe. You've got to go get some of those, dude.
Just real quick.
It was awesome.
Slow down for me. Slow down. They make a double Filet-O-Fish?
They do.
So is it bun, tartare, cheese, fish, tartare, cheese?
It's
fish,
2 fillet of fish.
Yes.
2 half slices of cheese.
Yep.
Double tartar sauce and 2 buns.
Wow. I mean, I don't love the filet of fish, but I didn't know you could double it up.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it was an experiment. I managed to do it.
So they
awesome.
have chicken selects back now. You're saying?
No, McCrispy strips. It's the precursor. So sort of like the Silver Surfer is the Herald of Galactus. It's the precursor for the snack wraps coming back.
And what was the sauce again?
Creamy chili sauce.
Oh my God. Well, I
nearly drove off the road.
Well, I'm glad you had your religious. What was the sound you made one more time?
Oh.
Yep, I know the feeling, bro. Well,
I know. I got that from you.
Thank you. Guys, I used to do this thing years ago where I would eat and I'd be like, I just need Amari's 5 minutes. And so my friends would it would just be a night. I need Amari's 5. And I heard other people doing it too. And I'm like, whoa, this is really, I don't know if you ever needed Amari's 5 minutes after eating, Skaz, but it's
I think we've all been there a time or two.
Yeah. Well, we got our first moan of the night. What's Alex got to say? He's in Hampton. What's up, Alex?
Hey, what's going on? No, I was just thinking about Tatum getting injured, and it kind of made me think about that ankle injury a couple of years ago when they were down 3-0 and they were going to make that Game 7 comeback, and he went out, probably a minute into it, and that was, the game right after White scored with 0.8 seconds on the buzzer. You remember to carry over to the Game 7, and I don't know, I think it kind of keeps the team together for sure, but I think they've got a deeper bench now, so they're probably in a better position to go deeper, but I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, Alex, that's my point. I think that the story is Tatum because when he was injured, they lost. When he was healthy, they've won.
Yeah.
So if he's not healthy, can they win? And now Brown with his knee. This is now, if you wanted the storyline, now you got one.
There you go. Yeah.
Appreciate you, buddy. All right, see? He gets it. Wonder if the Pats will get it at the draft this Thursday night. Oh, by the way, we're going to talk to Noah Dalzell coming up in a little bit, one of the best writers in the city right now. Get her thoughts on everything with the Celtics that's happening. Just a breather, because the draft's Thursday night. We'll be at the Brook up in New Hampshire, so come on by. War rooms, right? What's the Vrabel war room going to be like? This is the third different war room in 3 seasons now. So I don't even know what to expect. But why don't we take you into last year's war room when it came to the Patriots and their wide receiver selections? They plenty of guys were on the board. They chose Jalen Polk, but Ladd McConkey was on the board. And I'm sure you remember years ago when Cole Strange was selected, the Rams were like, we had that guy in the 4th round or whatever. They were laughing about it. Well, Skaz has uncovered some film from the Chargers after the Patriots selected Jalen Polk. So let's hear this audio, guys.
They're calling me.
Who? Okay.
See what they will give. Like, you guys interested in that? You want to do it or you? No.
Not interested?
They wanted to know what side of the ball we're picking. I'm not going to tell them.
Who was that?
New England for us trading how much time? 34 and 137 for 37 and 110. Give me 2 seconds. Just hold on. Yep, I know. Hold on. It's the one we talked about, going back from 110 to 137, going up and getting that.
You guys say we do it?
All right. Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. You there? We got a deal? All right, man.
Because of the loss, those 2 starters from a year ago.
By the way, the Los Angeles Chargers have moved up. They are now on the clock. The Patriots were supposed to be there.
Justin and Ladd are going to be thick as thieves.
Oh, my God.
They're going to be just like this.
Tied by a string. Yeah. Trying to be on the same wavelength.
Hello, is this Ladd?
Yeah, and then it just goes into them taking Ladd McConkey. But you just get the behind the scenes of them making the trade with the Patriots and the Chargers where they were in on Ladd McConkey. They had this plan. Harbaugh was in on it. This is what they wanted to happen, and
they said it was a gift.
They got what they wanted. It was a gift.
They said it was a gift. Ugh. You know, guys, that one there, I think back on it, you know who would really want Ladd McConkey right now? Josh McDaniels.
How about Drake May?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yes, Drake May. Yeah, you're right. And the only reason why I mentioned Josh McDaniels there is because Pop Douglas did an interview and said that he's going to play in the slot and talked about how McDaniels has been giving him film on other slot receivers that the Patriots have played, even Jacoby Myers for that matter. By the way, a lot of Jacoby Myers talk in Vegas. I went to the Raiders thing there. I met a bunch of guys from the Raiders, and they said thank you for Jacoby. I'm not lying to you. Oh, they also said thank you for Tom Brady. I don't know why, but it wasn't like I gave him Tom Brady. But they all mentioned the Jacoby Myers lateral. It was just, it's like you're there, and they just talk about it. So the Chargers laughed at the Patriots too, huh? Oh, this is a gift. This is a gift. The Patriots could literally draft Ladd McConkey. But they want Jalen Polk, so they want to trade back. You're right. Imagine Drake May with Ladd McConkey. It's just the hits keep coming. Speaking of hits, I don't know what they're going to do. This, and we're going to talk to Lifshatz later tonight because he's got all the odds. He's got all the odds, by the way. But just Will Campbell at 4, I'm starting to get cold feet. I'm starting to get cold feet. I think they've identified. I think there's 3 players. I don't know if it's at 4. I think it's Jalen Walker, it's Will Campbell, and it's Tyler Warren. Those are my 3 guys. My 3 guys. I'm just not sure if it's at 4. I think they like Will Campbell. I think they do. There's been a lot of talk about it. I know Mike Reese said something on it today. They like him. I think he likes them. Just don't know if it's at 4. The Patriots are also hosting Kelvin Banks today. And I just wanted to mention that Todd McShay, who obviously local guy, former 1510 guy, I believe. But he says that teams will be celebrating if the Patriots take Will Campbell or Ted McMillan. Isn't that the same thing the Chargers just did? And here is my offensive tackle, big board. I have Kelvin Banks, Will Campbell, Simmons from Ohio State, and Membu. Now, the reason why I have Membu so low is he's a right tackle. I also think he can play guard. I think Simmons has the highest upside, but has to keep his nose clean, where I think Campbell will be a good football player, whether it's tackle or guard. It's just not 4. I think Banks is the best tackle. I watched him play for Texas. He didn't play in some of the big games because he was wondering about the draft. I think Campbell was exposed at times. I do. And I'm just not sure he's a tackle. You can't take a risk at 4. You could take a risk at 34. Not at 4. I'm almost curious if the Patriots are taking some calls as well. 617-779-0985. Just real quick, this was from Mike Reese earlier today. Mike Reese was on, not Mike Reese. Will Campbell was on Sirius today. He says he doesn't know where he'll be picked. When he talked about the Patriots, he said they had a great staff. He's had a chance to talk to all of them. He said he was excited at whatever opportunity comes. He's also he talked about his love for football. Says he likes violence. He likes to hit. He said their dad had him playing tackle football with high schoolers across the yard from his house when he's 5 years old. He said that his biggest influence, Andrew Whitworth, longtime offensive tackle, both from Monroe, Louisiana. It's not a bad little compare. People say I look like Andrew Whitworth. Did you know that, Skez?
Yeah, I can kind of see it.
You can see it, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, good player. Andrew Whitworth, good player.
Very good player.
Would you take him at 4?
Yeah, but he was a monster.
Would you have taken him at 4?
Yeah, probably, right? How long did he play in the league?
Okay, then. This is the thing. I'm not sold on it. Where was Andrew Whitworth drafted, by the way?
He was drafted 55th overall by the Cincinnati Bengals. 2-time first-team All-Pro, 4-time Pro Bowler. I don't know if that's a 4th overall pick.
Okay,
though.
Good player, right?
Good player.
I think that's what Campbell will be. 4 is what a bad year to have 4. It's like the blackjack table having 12. You know? You get 12, you see that king coming, you're doomed. All right, let's talk to Noah Delzell on the Celtics. What's going on here? We'll do that next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports.
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. We're back, full show tonight. I'm back from Vegas. I've gotten some naps in today. There's been tons of news. And let's go to the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Let's get into some of the news regarding the Boston Celtics. It's Noah Dalzell joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Works over at CLNS, Celtics blog, does stuff with the WNBA. Even saw you on Ladies Night on NBC Sports Boston as well. Noah, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Now, listen, I want to start off on the positive here. Payton Pritchard, 6th man of the year. Won in a landslide, by the way. Not a big campaign by the Celtics by any means, not compared to Marcus Smart and his Defensive Player of the Year, but he earned it. Clearly the vote showed it. Just what was some of the things that were said regarding Payton Pritchard going into this one, and your thoughts on Pritchard winning the award?
Yeah, I think part of why there was no campaign, because there was no need for one. It was so obvious that he was running away with this one. And he was even asked a couple weeks ago, like, are you going to campaign for it? And he said, no, I'm just going to let it take its course here. But besides for the scoring, besides for the fact that he was one of the most efficient guard scorers in the NBA this season, I think he was just like such a pivotal part of their 61-win season. Joe Mazzulla had, I think, the best perspective on it of anyone. And he said, different guys were in and out of the lineup. Jalen missed time, Tatum missed time, Porzingis, everybody kind of rotates in and out, especially in the second half of the year. But he was the one constant, like he always plays. And he was always, playing with different lineups, playing with bench lineups, and was really key to why they won so many games and why they were able to be so effective fresh off a championship. So I think the offensive numbers, 14 points per game, shooting like 41.8 or something like that from three. But then defensively, he was just way less of a liability than years prior, and also actually a value add because he was able to pressure full court and do a lot of good things for them. So this was not, I think every Boston sports writer pre-wrote their Pritchard won 6th man of the year article 2 weeks ago because it was so obvious that he was going to win it. But definitely a cool story from a guy who pretty much was out of the rotation, 18 months ago to be where he is now.
Yeah, I was going to shout out you had a nice interview with him with Celtics blog. I know he mentioned he gave up alcohol, like he just finds people to play basketball with. He's improved as a defender. Could you name some other things that you learned in that article? And I know he said he gave credit to a couple of the assistants for winning the award as well.
Yeah, one of the things that was interesting in that story is we were talking about defense. It was right after the Celtics lost to Oklahoma City, and he actually had the best defensive numbers on SGA than anybody on the team. And Jalen struggles with him, Drew struggles with him. And I asked him, do you take pride in those moments when he switches on to you, like kind of trying to hunt you, and you actually end up getting more stops than anybody? Like, you're not the guy that they put on SGA. And he saw me right there, and he was like, I want to be that guy. Like, I'm not accepting that I'm not that guy. Like, I'm going to work to be that guy eventually, which I don't think anybody looks at Pritchard and says he's going to be the team's defensive stopper when you have the Drew Holiday and Derek White and Jaylen Brown on your roster. But that's what he aspires toward. And I think the defensive side is where he's been maximizing everything he can do to be the best that he can. He told us today at practice that Kyle Lowry, somebody that he studied, Marcus Smart, who obviously he was teammates with, he's drawn a lot from. So I think the defensive side is not what he's known for, but it's a big part of his identity and a big part of how he's impacted this team. And then the other thing that we talked about is I think maybe a weakness of his game is that he doesn't flop. Like, he really doesn't draw a lot of fouls. And I was asking him about it. He said, when you're a role player, you come off the bench and you drive to the basket twice in a game. Like, you can't flop and look like an idiot, basically, and not get a good chance at a shot. Whereas if you're, Jalen Brunson or SGA, like, you can afford to have a few of those per game. So I think that's a part of his game that he's still working on. But the work ethic, like the crazy drills that he does, he hires people to play against him in the offseason. I think people know that by now. He's really like an insanely competitive player, and that's why I think he averages like the most points over the past few seasons in game 82, because it doesn't matter to him if it's preseason, if it's practice. We see him going one-on-one against players all the time in practice. Like, he just has this very competitive spirit, and he didn't like riding the bench. And even I asked him the other day, like, he didn't play for the first 10 minutes of game one, and I thought to myself, like, is he about to be out of the rotation? And you just have to have a good mindset about, maybe you're going to play more limited minutes. He comes in at the 2-minute mark and scores 11 points in the first 3 minutes on the court. So he's just found a way, no matter what the opportunity is, he's been impactful in it.
All right, we'll talk about Noah Dalzell. I just retweeted that for those that want to look at it, or you can follow Noah, 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 Dalzel. double L at the end there. So the news today is Jason Tatum. It's not a surprise, probably to you either, Noah, that 2 years ago he should have had this surgery. He didn't do it. He got the cortisone shot. They won the championship. And he's been pretty much fine all year long. And he, the other night, the hard foul there. So he's doubtful for game 2. I doubt that. I mean, this guy plays every game. It's hard to keep him off the court. You're around the team. What are you hearing today? And, I'll just ask you this because I've asked everybody else. Can the Celtics win a championship with both Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum not being 100%?
Yeah, good question. So first of all, it's the opposite wrist is the one that he previously had issues with. And okay. I actually thought, off the bat, I thought it was the same one. So this is his shooting wrist, and it's not a fracture. Last time it was a fracture, but it is a bone bruise, which from what I've been reading today, like sometimes initially it doesn't feel all too dissimilar from a fracture. But I think, first of all, he's going to play. If there's a possibility for him to play, he's going to play. Everybody knows that. He was doubtful once this season after he rolled his ankle in Sacramento, and I was in Phoenix at that shoot-around. Again, these meaningless games, standings are locked up, late March basketball, and he was going through going through his workout at that shoot-around like you would think that Game 7 of the NBA Finals was that night. And he was upgraded to questionable after shoot-around and then ultimately did not play that game, but came back one game later. Everybody thought he was going to miss a couple of weeks of that ankle sprain. He misses one game. So if there's any chance that he can go tomorrow, I think he will go. It's the playoffs. It's Game 2. He's going to want to be there. That being said, from Joe's response today, Joe Mazzulla was asked about Tatum. Honestly, I thought he'd be completely fine after the way it was discussed right after the game, and he didn't have a wrap, he didn't have swelling. Joe was like, yeah, he was sore. He was, he did some on-court stuff, but for Joe Mazzulla, that was like as bad of an injury up to Israel here because he always says everybody's fine, he's good, he's great, he's perfect. Like he doesn't like to say anything's not good. So I think this was the reality that Jason didn't do too much today at practice, and so there is a real chance that he actually sits out tomorrow. I would say if there's ever a chance, it seems pretty possible right now. The thing is, I haven't read anything that makes me think this is a long-term concern, and that's why I'm not really worried about it because Jalen's knee, you worry about a knee, it impacts the rest of your body. That pounding is going to get worse and worse as he plays. From what I understand right now, I think this is something that maybe will bother him for a week or two, but it's not going to have that same long-term implication. So can they win a championship with them both limited? Everybody else is going to have to be at their absolute best, and it's hard to put that out there that everybody has to be at their best, but I think that's the reality of what the situation is going to be. Kristaps was not good offensively in Game 1. 5 points on 1 of 8 shooting. Like he's going to have to do a lot more if Tatum's on there tomorrow. So it just puts the onus on guys that are a little bit less proven in the postseason, but I still think they can do it.
All right, she says they can do it. I always do a joke on the show, 50-50. I'm 50-50 no, that they both have to be healthy. But this is now the storyline, Noah. Like, people say the Celtics are boring, right? And, did you see the ratings over the weekend? You know what I mean? So I just but now we have a story. Like, can the Celtics win a championship? And I'm talking the team, not so much Jaylen Brown and Tatum, because you saw the rest of the team step up when you mentioned Porzingis and Brown struggles. So, to me, that's the storyline going forward here. Do you think that Orlando has to play this style because they just can't keep up with the three-point shot, this physical style? Could that slow down the Celtics in the series?
For sure, and I think that was the concern a little bit heading into the series was how much is Orlando going to be a dangerous team to play against, for lack of a better term. And I was a little bit skeptical that it was dangerous to go up against them. And then obviously people got pretty nicked up in Game 1. But I will say, what's your point about them being kind of boring? I saw more fire from this team today than I have in a while in their media availabilities. I think that everybody's a little bit juiced up after this KCP foul. And Al Horford said today he thought there was something extra there. I thought that when he was asked about that, I thought he was going to be like, oh, no, it's playoff basketball. But he was like, no, that was 3 times that he went at him. And so I would not be surprised if tomorrow at the Garden, everybody's booing every time KCP touches the ball, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, that the players have an extra edge to them. Pritchard seemed to have an extra edge when he was addressing us today. So I think maybe it riled them up a little bit. But, yeah, it's certainly the style that Orlando has to play if they're going to have any chance against Boston. And I think that for a long time now there's been this understanding where if you're physical against the Celtics, that's the way to beat them, and that they're a little bit soft. And I just don't think that's true anymore. It might have been true a couple of years ago, but they've evolved past that. So It's not going to work, I don't think, but they're not going to outshoot Boston. That's unlikely to happen over the course of a series. So they have to find other ways, and they drew more fouls than any other team in the NBA this season, and the Celtics fouled the least amount of any team in the NBA this season. So it's kind of a completely different style of plays coming into the series.
All right, we'll talk about Noah Dalzell. You can check out all our work. Noah, we like you because you're creative. Like, you try to find stories that maybe the rest of the beat aren't doing.
I appreciate that.
No, and we listen. Skaz and I are like, hey, let's get Noah on tonight. But you did something about the Celtics' moms, and obviously we saw Jason Tatum's mom this weekend. Should I go to the Orlando locker room? You had a chance to speak to 5 Celtics mothers about the son. You got any stories for us? And who were the 5 moms that you talked to?
Yeah, I spoke to Jordan Walsh, Baylor Shireman, Derek White, Al Horford, and Sam Hauser's moms. My favorite, I probably shouldn't pick favorites, but I thought the interview with Al Horford's mom was really fascinating because he's somebody that, he's been covered for so long, you kind of think by now everything's been written about him. But she was saying, in the Dominican Republic, the first time he picked up a basketball, like literally at his first camp, he started coaching the other kids about like what to do if the defense moves here and what to do if somebody cuts here. And the kids were like, what are you talking about? Like they were like 9 years old, and he's literally coaching. He asked her to buy him books about officiating so he could read all about refereeing and how they make calls and things like that. And this is like as a 9-year-old. And it's just pretty funny because you see Al at 38, like running out of bounds, trying to manipulate like, passing times and timeout calls and, trying to pass the ball before the other team has a chance to set up. And it's like he's literally been like that since the day he first picked up a basketball. But all the stories were unique. I think the biggest thing that struck me was sometimes, like, I look at these guys and I'm like, okay, they're all so naturally athletic. They all come from athletic families. Almost all of them have parents that played college sports. They're all tall. Like, even the shorter ones are still much taller than the average American man. And the thing that separated them, though, that allowed them to be in the NBA is their work ethic. And the stories are crazy. Like, 13-year-old Baylor Shireman's mom was telling me, he was getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning every single day before, and working out with high schoolers. And he's 13 years old. She was like, that's not normal. But that's the way that all of these guys operated. I think some guys get the rep of being really hard workers, but the reality is, like, if you're in this position, you're a really hard worker. And that's what got you to that point. And so, like, by the time I finished my 5th interview, I was like, I guess it's not just that they're really athletic and tall. Like, they've been kind of ridiculously insane about playing basketball since they were literally, like, middle schoolers, and that's what makes them in this position today.
Do you think that's why Joe Mazzulla is the right coach for this? Like, Ime Udoka was a great coach, and we see what he's doing in Houston, and obviously no longer here, and Mazzulla was the guy, right? But is that how do they all relate to each other because they have that type of mindset that you mentioned from, besides being athletic and tall, they all have this crazy mindset of just a certain way to play basketball?
Yeah, I think so. I think, honestly, it's so hard to evaluate coaches from the sidelines because, first of all, there's a whole coaching staff, right? So so a lot of times people criticize adjustments or things, and it's like there's a lot of people making that decision. But the biggest thing that I've been able to discern about Joe that makes me think, like, he's a really great coach is his emotional intelligence when it comes to just finding ways to relate to each and every player. Like, he told us this thing last year that at every practice and every shoot-around, he wants to have a moment with every single person on the 15-man roster, like J.D. Davison, like Jordan Walsh. Like, he wants to have a chance to chat with those guys and to establish a connection. And he talks to everyone differently. And I think the reality is that they have such different personalities, like, even from my getting to know them and covering them over the past 2 seasons, like, it's remarkable how different some of these players are. I mean, you have to look at Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Like, they're so different in almost every way. And he found ways for all of those guys to buy into him. And so, yes, he has that competitive spirit and, like, the craziness and the things that everybody knows about him, the viral clips that everybody's seen about the press conference moments that sometimes make us look bad and all that. But I think the thing when I really think about, like, why did this work, it's because he manages all these stars, all these different egos, and somehow, like, they're all completely bought in. And maybe that won't last forever, but right now, they never say anything negative about him. They're always praising him. They're always crediting him. You can just tell that there's, like, unwavering respect and appreciation for what he's done for them. And that's been the big thing for him. And I don't know that Ime would have been able to achieve that. Maybe he would. I think in year one, there were a lot of positive signs. But that yelling style also is a little bit different when you have guys that are more and more accomplished. I think, like, he's perfect for Houston right now. But Joe is perfect for this team.
Well, he certainly won the coaching matchup in game one, second half. There's no doubt about that. Noah Dalzell, appreciate you. We love your work. You're always trying to get creative there. We like it because, listen, it's hard, right? We work here. We had the Bruins at night, which were awful, and we have the Celtics who are too good. You know what I mean? So like we're all trying to find creative ways. You're doing an excellent job. We appreciate your work.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, keep working hard and. Maybe we'll talk to you in the next round. I'm getting ahead of myself. I already got the Celtics repeating, by the way.
I know, me too. I'm already planning, like, should I book my Oklahoma City hotels? And it's, like, not even close yet. So that's where my head's at, too. So.
You and Brian Windhorst, right? He's been doing that.
Yeah.
He's like, I got this city lined up. I got that city lined up. But let's hopefully no injuries the rest of the way here. Noah, great job. Appreciate your time. And hopefully we'll talk in the next round.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You got it. It's Noah Dalzell, everybody. Check out her work. Does an awesome job. She covers the WNBA, Celtics CLNS, Celtics blog, and has great post-game stuff as well. So appreciate Noah joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. All right. Celtics, did we do enough? Did we do our justice? We got our Celtics stuff out of the way. The drafts this week as well. Oh, and Street Team Joe's here. He's got food, I think. The hell is that? What is that, Skaz?
Apparently something called Easter pizza, Joe.
Easter pizza? Oh, God, there's peeps on it, isn't it? All right, well, we're going to have to find out what Easter pizza is next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Payton Pritchard, 6th man of the year. He's good. What's not good is Jason Tatum. All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. Full show tonight. In or Out's coming up in about 10 minutes. So don't miss it. I want to thank Noah Dalzell. She really does an awesome job. I think someday we're going to lose her, Skaz. She's going to just... she's just going to take off and just see you later. We hardly knew ye.
Yeah, Noah, she's as good as it gets in Boston. She does a great job, and yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, she'll be national or something soon.
I'll give you another one. We ran into, people will know her on WWE as Megan Morant, but Megan O'Brien, formerly of Patriots.com, we ran into her at Vegas. She's now a big WWE star now. You know, so we ran into her, and I was talking, and she goes, Joe, I wanted to get on your smelly rant. And I'm like, whoa, you listen! So we have fans.
So she knows you're a sniffer.
Oh, that's right. So we tried to get food. The place we wanted to go is closed on a Tuesday, which out. Sorry, we have to have a conversation about that one, bro. I already hit him up. But not Monday, I get, right? Being off on a Monday, understandable. Barbershops, right? Your favorite pizza joint that's local, not open on a Tuesday, out. That's like an umpire ejection out. Usually I do this. This one I'm like out. So anyways, we got some other stuff. And Josh just videoed myself and Joe eating an Easter pizza. And I ate it, and there's a review coming. So, and I got another review later on tonight regarding food. Ben's in Nashua. What's up, Ben?
Hey, Joe. What's going on?
How you doing?
How was WrestleMania?
I'm here and alive.
Okay.
No, it was great, man. No complaints at all.
Nice. Got a question regarding the Patriots. What do you think if the Patriots traded the 4 pick and the crap they got from the Milton trade for Colton Miller and the 6th pick for Oakland?
Okay. Very interesting to me on this one. I don't know why the Raiders would let this guy go. So I think they're just playing a little hardball, right? And then they'll sign him. Now, I met a bunch of Raiders people this week. They're in on this Membu kid. They like him.
And they want Genty as well.
So right now, Genty's the favorite to be the 5th overall pick.
With ETN and Tank on Jacksonville?
That doesn't mean it's Jacksonville, right?
Oh, okay. True.
Right?
Or the Patriots could trade the 4 pick.
Yeah. I think the trade talks will start to pick up, but as of right now, though, I would like to see the Pats move, but like to what you're saying is they fill a void. They just move back and they get another guy that they want instead of a reach, you know? So I'm in on what you're talking about. I just don't think it's going to happen.
That's fair. Hey, can you tell me the craziest story of the weekend? And I'll let you tell it. Thank you.
Craziest story from the weekend. Ready for this? Sketch, you know when you ever see like the Stone Cold bits, Stone Cold Steve Austin? He'll always be like, and then I went to the store, and everyone goes, what? And then I went here. What? Da-da-da-da-da. What? Well, for those that haven't been to Allegiant Stadium, you walk out of the casino, and then it's just a bridge to the stadium. It's about 0.9 miles, let's say, maybe even less. But if you can't go to a sporting event without somebody representing Jesus Christ, right? So this guy's on this microphone. He goes, it's Easter Sunday. What? And the Lord our Savior. Da-da-da. What? And like, it was hilarious. Like, you know, usually it's a wrestler talking and everyone's just like, what? But it's this man just passing out Jesus lives and all this stuff. That to me was one of the funniest things that I remember. Another thing was Jay Stu and I were walking together into WrestleMania, and the Goodyear blimp was above us. I have never seen the blimp. Like, I didn't know the blimp was still a thing.
There's only a couple of them out there, Joe.
There's also a video that we shared regarding Jay Stu doing the yeet.
I did see the yeet.
I couldn't unsee that. You saw it, right?
Oh, yeah, I saw it. He was doing the yeet, Joe. Whatever the yeet is, he was doing it.
I'm still laughing at it. It's just him, 6'5", 6", whatever he is at all. We had a great weekend. It was good.
Yeah, it looked like the boys had a lot of fun.
Oh God, I will tell you though, I'm gonna save this for musings.
Yeah, this is what I've been waiting for.
Gonna save it for musings. But,
an hour from now.
Oh God, honestly, 9 out of 10 trip.
Even you were there for a while.
Yes.
I just usually I hear Vegas and it's three days max. Did it wear on you a little bit by the end?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. We'll have more on that, but coming up next, we got In or Out here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. More Joe.
I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is guaranteed. What do we have for shows this week? This is the last full show of the week, despite the draft on Thursday night, it'll be the Joe Marty show, but really it's the NFL draft show with Alex Barth. That's what it is. We're here to hear Barth. I'm just there for the 9 Dragons. Kowloon. I like the draft. You know what? I think this is Alex and I's 3rd year. Could this be like a yearly tradition? Anyways. In or out edition. What do we got, Skaz?
All right, Joe, welcome back. A Tuesday night edition of In or Out. It feels good for you to be back.
Did you do In or Outs with Kendra and them, too, as well?
Kendra and Barth did it, yes. Dondero brought his own game. McCarthy did some musings.
What kind of game did Dondero do?
Take your pick is what Mark usually does. Some questions.
Take your pick?
Yeah, I give him a couple options. He's got to make a pick. Like, is this better than that?
And do you come up with the options or him?
He comes up with the questions.
See, you sent me the In or Outs?
Yes.
I never looked at them.
No, yes, that's...
I want to give...
Raw and uncut.
I do thank you for sending them every time.
No, of course.
Maybe it's just to keep,
Yeah, it's just so I have them. It's literally just so I have them. I send them just so I have them as a resource.
Sometimes I put stuff in Slack just for me.
Yes, absolutely.
Not even, All right, well, what's our first In or Out for tonight?
All right, here we go, Joe. You're back. We'll start with an easy one here, Joe. Buffalo Wild Wings, a friend of, everybody. It's a sports fan. Buffalo Wild Wings now offering, Joe, all-you-can-eat wings and fries Monday to Thursday, dine-in only. Are you in or out?
Oh, I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to ease you back in,
Okay. If Buffalo Wild Wings wants to send us wings, I'm interested. Now, there is a Buffalo Wild Wings at the Liberty Tree Mall. I did a TikTok video on this recently. But that is a sad, sad mall. Like, they have a movie theater. They have a Buffalo Wild Wings, is where I'm going with this, with a Pop-A-Shot. But everyone that sits at the bar looks really sad. But you know what will get me there? This meal deal you're talking. What is this called? All you can eat for $19.99. So I show up, I give $20, and I can sit down and just eat Buffalo Wild Wings Monday through Friday. Monday through Thursday.
Wings and fries, Monday to Thursday, dine-in only.
Now, is there like a cap? Because I went to a buffet in Vegas. They gave me a... embarrassed to say this. They gave me a 90-minute cap.
They put you on the clock. Running time, too, Joe. No commercial breaks there.
I got the buffet that I went to put me on a 90-minute clock.
Did you get like the soccer ref, like holding up to 10 minutes or something? Is it counting you down?
Believe it or not, every once in a while, the waiter would come over and put the time down on the receipt. Because you pay for it up front. They have a little envelope to leave them a tip, which is funny. Why can't I just leave? Why do I have to put it in the envelope? But I think
very Vegas.
I think the envelope's there so they come back to update you on the time. But is there a time? I bet you there's no timer at Buffalo Wild Wings.
No, can't be.
Imagine having to be put on a timer at a buffet.
It's like I know you're not the biggest golf guy, but sometimes golfers will get put on the clock.
You're right.
Because they're going too slow. Imagine you're at the buffet, they're like, bud, you're on the clock. I'm sorry, but you got to work faster.
What happened to me? I'm like, do I drink the Thai iced tea? And I asked them, I did ask, do you think I could bring this to go? And they said, no. I said, okay. Plus, I don't want to be walking through the casino. We'll talk about that later. In, though. Hey, listen. Buffalo Wild Wings needs to do things like this. So I'm in.
Always open to innovation, Joe. Always.
Absolutely.
Always. Speaking of innovation, Joe, you tossed this in Slack earlier, I believe. Korn's, the band Korn's, Jonathan Davis has unveiled a new side hobby, I guess, releasing Freak on a Leash dog apparel, Korn-themed and kind of, I don't know what you'd call it, heavy metal-themed dog apparel. Joe Murray, are you in or out on Korn's Freak on a Leash dog apparel?
Absolutely in. I'd be like, hey, do you want to go for a walk? And the dog starts going up, and then all of a sudden I just start playing. Are you ready? And the dog's just going nuts, and you got the freak. Or you could just play the something takes a putt. Oh, wait, what was Freak on a Leash? Feeling like I had no release. Yes. Anyways, Hey, I love dogs. I like leashes for dogs. And I like corn. I thought I saw, I just walked we were right next to each other. Actually, believe it or not, we bumped shoulders and had to apologize to each other. I went, whoa, it's Sean Merriman.
Did you do a little dance for him?
No, I wanted to do and I wanted to tell him that I was, covered the Patriots because, his team lost in the AFC Championship game to them in New England. Remember?
Oh, I remember, Joe.
LaDainian Tomlinson.
Talk about tapping out. Talk about tapping out.
The old tap out. The UFC needs to sponsor us. We drop tap out every night. Or tap out brands should just hit us up. What are you doing? I have so many marketing ideas coming back, dude. What else we got for in or out? I'm sorry.
All right, Joe. We'll head to the world of movies for this one. There is a Toys R Us live-action movie in the works. The film, which is in early development, aims to capture the childhood wonder in a modern, fast-paced adventure that taps into Toys R Us brand's relevance across its more than 70 years in the toy industry. Joe Murray?
In.
I
want to know about Jeffrey the giraffe.
A big Jeffrey guy. What's he up to these days?
You know what they used to, all right, so if anybody knows the Dedham or West Roxbury area, that whole strip now is like where Waves Car Wash is and like all that. That used to be the Toys R Us. And that's where we bought all our video games growing up. Like if you wanted video games, you had to go to Toys R Us and they had it in the back in a cage. And they'd have to like get it out of a cage in a special package. You'd like get the tag and then you'd bring it up. I don't know if you remember this.
I was more of a KB Toys guy. I don't know if you
KB
remember
Toys.
those.
I used to buy all my wrestling figures there.
That was kind of where we had Taunton's Galleria, or KB Toys over there.
I've been up there. Told you I went to they had that great sports store up there.
Oh yeah,
Stephen Barry's.
Stephen Barry's another classic. Get your Starberries.
Yep, I've been up there all the time. And I loved Toys R Us. There was Child World, but KB came along and then Child World got the bump.
All right, Joe, sticking with movies, a new musical drama, Joe, is coming. It is called Song Sung Blue. It stars Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson, and it is about a married couple who form a Neil Diamond tribute band. Joe Murray, are you in or out?
Okay. I like Kate Hudson. I like Hugh Jackman.
Sure.
Is it Bradley Cooper, Lady Gaga? No.
It's like a a tribute band version of that, I guess.
Has anybody you ever watch the show Girls?
Not enough of
like
it.
Lena Dunham.
Yeah, I think I'm aware of what it is.
There was a girl on that show who was married to the guy who's the Bears. The guy cousin in the Bear. If you ever, they had a traveling act just like this. Out! I'm out! No, I like Kate Hudson and Hugh Jackman, but like you're going from Wolverine to this? Out!
Yeah, I'm with you.
Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza. Out! No,
out on Neil Diamond.
Almost Famous to Neil Diamond. Out!
All
right, I'm out. You're out. We're out.
All right, Joe, another movie in the works, and this is one of those ones where there's so many remakes, I can't remember if we've done it or not, but I saw it today on Twitter. They are remaking I Know What You Did Last Summer with Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. Joe Murray, are you in or out? I
saw a preview of this in Vegas. Well, I saw that Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. Dude, Skaz, this is my wheelhouse. When I was a youngster, I told you, Can't Hardly Wait is a top, well, it's probably a top 10 for me. 10 things I hate about you. I could give you a list. I never liked Love and Basketball. Do you know that? Never.
Not a fan?
Just not. I don't love Julia Stiles.
That might be controversial, Joe.
But I like
his top 10 rom-com someday.
Done. Let's do it right now. I can do it right now. No, can't hardly wait though. But I'm in on this. I need to know who else is in it. I think Brandy was in it once, right? Or maybe I don't know. Doesn't matter. They could come up with a good crew. And Freddie Prinze is in it. You know, Freddie Prinze Jr. does a lot of wrestling stuff for WWE.
I know. What's his name's always there? Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, yeah,
He's like always.
I didn't see him at Mania. George Kittle was everywhere. He was there both nights. You know who got a huge pop? The guy who plays Hank from Breaking Bad. Huge pop.
Oh, really? Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah, that's what I said. All the UFC guys got booed. Dana White got booed.
Yeah. I'm okay with that, Joe.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me. Joe, some petitioning. We talk about Hall of Fame petitioning every once in a while. Well, it seems like people around ESPN, maybe his fellow draft coverage people. Joe, how do you feel about Mel Kiper to the NFL Hall of Fame? To the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I should say.
Immediately, I'm out. This isn't Steve Sable who created
for contributions to the game.
Okay.
No, I'm out. I'm out with you, Joe.
Let's talk this one out.
I'd put him in like the Head of Hair Hall of Fame, maybe, or something like that.
He looks like Count Dracula.
Yes.
They bring him out every draft season. I come to give you draft. Like, you know what I'm saying? And not for nothing, dude. What's his hit rate?
Joe, who am I to comment on another man's hit rate? You know,
I know.
We're throwing.
You're
stuff.
right. You're right.
Know? Who am I to say?
Hey, I hit the Payton. We hit the Payton Pritchard.
We'll give that. That was all you, Joe.
Well, we'll do a victory lap,
of course.
But no, I hate this idea. Who else would you? Who? Okay, Steve Sable. I understand. The guy who created NFL Films.
Yeah, that one I get, but. If there was a media member, like Mel Kiper wouldn't be my 1-1 pick. That's not who I'm putting in the Hall of Fame. I don't want any media members really in the Hall of Fame, if I'm being honest with you.
Pat Summerall and John Madden? But they were football coaches.
Like John Madden, he's probably in the Hall of Fame.
How about Joe Buck or Jim Nance?
Joe Buck's a little young, but I think eventually Joe Buck could get there. You know,
all right,
a little young.
Football. Like, okay, Lee Corso, if he wasn't a coach, would be in a Hall of Fame.
Yeah. He's retiring. I don't know if you heard.
I saw that.
Yeah.
So McAfee's going to be the guy, it sounds like.
What a delight.
Did you see him get choked out last night? I probably didn't tell you this.
I enjoyed that. I thought that was nice. I thought that was good content.
Did you notice all his crew tried to help out?
Yeah. Real lot of men going around there.
Think about that one.
Like, is Shefty going to go into the Hall of Fame one day just because he broke every story?
Is Woj?
No. I don't think any of these guys should be in the Hall of Fame. I'm putting Mel Kiper in the Hall of Fame.
Like, would an agent like Scott Boras?
Yeah, let's get Boras in. I mean, honestly, though, at least he's making these guys millions of dollars. Like, at least there's somebody he made a lot of guys a lot of money. Minute for that.
You know, they should put Jerry Maguire in there.
There you go, yeah.
You know, it's just... I'm out. Oh, God. I am out. Now that we're talking about it, out?
Yeah.
What? Who is Mel Kiper? Where did he come from?
What is Mel Kiper?
I know what Mel Kiper does. He works for ESPN. They wheel him out every year, and he tells you about draft guys. Where did he come from? Did he write a book?
If Kiper's in the Hall of Fame, Bart's got to be in the Hall of Fame.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. What are we doing here?
We should start the petition now. Barth 2050?
Yeah, when is he eligible? When is his...
Barth 2050.
In.
Anything else?
All right, Joe. We'll end with this one tonight. WWE and Omaha Productions announce WWE Unreal, a writer's room docuseries, a look inside the WWE writer's room. Joe Murray, are you in or out?
Okay. I'm fascinated by this, but there's something about not pulling back the curtain.
It's like kind of like you don't want to know what's in a hot dog, basically.
Hulk Hogan would hate this. Undertaker would hate. I'm only bringing up Hulk Hogan because he's old school. Undertaker would hate this. Bret Hart wouldn't even shake Triple H's hand this weekend because he's still pissed about Shawn Michaels and him. Okay? So I respect it, right? Those guys won't. This is where I'm going with it. Those guys won't respect that. Unfortunately, these guys, like, you could have went to WrestleMania this week and been like, you know, you might not know the wrestlers, but the entertainers that were there, like In Living Color came out and sang. The guitarist for Slayer came out in one of the songs. Like, they Jelly Roll sang. You know, like I said, Kittle was there. There were stars everywhere. So, I mean, when you advertise, you want to advertise to people that might not come to your restaurant or come to your event. Wrestling is now advertising to get people like you, Skaz, and like Joe, guys who sports fans but might not watch wrestling. So, like, that's why I think this could be good. Also, this run that John Cena's on, he's considering himself the last real champion. And I think they're closing the book on what old wrestling was.
I saw him taking RKO last night.
So
seems relevant.
And he has 14 championships. Cena has 17. Is that it for tonight?
That is going to wrap up a Tuesday night edition of In or Out.
All right. Well, we're late. Per usual. Let's get the headline here, and then I'll get you this couple of scores. What the hell's going on with the Red Sox right now? We'll get you updated on that next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, this is Boston's home for sports.
Holiday 3. Good night. Jalen forces it up over top.
FM and HD Boston 98.5 The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Payton Pritchard, Sixth Man of the Year, joins Kevin McHale, Bill Walton, Malcolm Brogdon as former Sixth Man of the Year. Also, the news on Jason Tatum. It's a wrist injury, his opposite wrist that he needs surgery on. We found that out tonight from Noah Dalzell. Red Sox right now lead 4-3 in the seventh. Mariners are threatening. Brian Bayo, though, pitched well. The bullpen, though, struggling. And the Bruins, they have an announcement tomorrow. They're going to have Neely, Sweeney, Charlie Jacobs there. Where's the coach? They didn't mention him. No Sacco. What does that mean? Does Sacco get Saccoed? Huh. Headlines. They are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray.
Start your day.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Work through your day.
What's that thing we do at the end of the show?
And end your day.
I'm not giving you an opinion. I don't know.
Right here. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Beanie fan over here.
Boy.
Love her work.
Where are we going?
White Lotus, right? Love her work. SNL is the Hooters girl. I'm a death. What do they call doom scroller?
Yes, you are a doom scroller.
I
Joe.
saw Sydney Sweeney's name, Drake May's name. Now I know Drake May just got engaged and all that. Remember, there was a whole reason why he wasn't. But I was like, what is this? I think people are trying to manifest Drake May and Sydney Sweeney.
Who is trying to manifest, Joe?
Well, according to an AI overview, Sydney Sweeney,
oh boy,
not rumored to be dating Drake May.
No, certainly not. Not sure she even knows who he is.
The recent focus on Sydney Sweeney's relationship has been on her engagement with Jonathan Davino, whoever that is. There were rumors that she might be dating Glenn Powell. There's no indication that Sydney Sweeney is romantically involved with Drake May. So anyways, I just want to let you know that I saw on the internet.
I came across your desk is what you're saying.
And I'm going to put this image right now in Slack so you can even see it. But I just thought it was funny that the name Drake May just happened to show up with Sydney Sweeney. But Sydney Sweeney says she won't stop watching Drake May highlights.
In one of the most clearly edited pictures I've ever seen in my life.
I saw it. What's CG? What do you think that's called? Do you think he knows who Sydney Sweeney is?
I think he's well aware, Joe. Well aware.
Nobody knows what's going on with her, man. What's going on with her? She was wearing a wedding dress and she stopped her marriage, her engagement. Just thought it was interesting. I saw Drake May and Sydney Sweeney on TikTok. So I clicked on it and I watched it. And I said, no. That would be a good storyline here. Or would it? Let's ask Dan Lifshatz. No, we won't. But we're going to be joined by Dan Lifshatz. Well, he'll be on the phone with us tonight. Let's get our betting on. You know you can bet on this thing, right? The draft? Let's get in on this. We'll do it next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.
Getting audio, setting up some stuff.
To be honest with you, I love being with Louth at like an event like that.
Oh, him and Bart together?
That's what I do. I just watch them, and then I react on the air with it. Speaking of the draft, you can bet on it, everybody. And joining us right now I'll give you the highlight. The Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline is Dan Lifshatz of the Over Under, one of the Bankroll boys. Dan, how are you, sir?
I'd say nervous. Nervous is a good way to put it. Been fidgeting all day. Nervous energy going into the draft.
Are you on full tilt for the draft?
Not tilt's the wrong word. More just like anxious. I have way too many bets on this draft. Been betting it for like almost a month and a half now. So we're up to like an absurd amount of bets, and of course that creates an absurd amount of anxiety. So that's how it kind of goes.
So I love betting on the draft because I do think there's value. I am kind of curious what you think about the value here, but just real quick, you and I were some of the biggest advocates of sports betting being legal here. Did you see what Massachusetts made in the month of March?
Yes, I did. Really, really good numbers. I think it was the second highest
ever.
Second highest total bet ever. Really good amount. I mean, look, I think it's going to continue to grow. Football season 2025 probably makes it even higher. So I would say that it's only growing and it's only going to get bigger around here.
All right, Dan. So there's I want to know what your angle is because I don't know if it's 4, if it's 5, if it's top 5, top 10. Like you can draft, you can by number, you can do position, you can do who goes in the first round, what team will draft who. I'm looking at a top 5 exacta here, right? So the favorite, and again, it's minus 105, is Ward, Hunter, Carter, Campbell 4, Genty 5. What are you hearing? What are you thinking on that? Should that be the favorite? And I guess I'll just ask, is 1, 2, and 3 pretty much locked in with Ward, Hunter, Carter?
I'd be absolutely floored if it wasn't Ward, Hunter, Carter in that order. I mean, at this point, the way that the market's kind of trended, and I know there's been some rumors out there, Sanders might go 3. I know Schefter's kind of put out, the Giants have done a ton of work. I mean, we could see some buffoonery. Maybe Mara steps in and, things kind of go crazy from there. But outside of that, which, again, I don't think happens, but, never say never. Outside of that, I feel very confident. I mean, it's a definite Ward is going 1. I mean, you can pretty much lock that in. Hunter is very likely to go 2. I mean, I'd be absolutely stunned there. I'd say Carter's probably, the most open in that scenario, but again, I think right now bookmaker he's like minus 1150. That again, that's a site that takes legitimate liquidity in this market. A lot of sharps bet that market. So yeah, I mean the way that Carter's been bet up in the last couple of days, it feels very close to being done. It does, again, obviously the Giants have a little bit of a redundancy with Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau, but I was talking to someone today. It does make it a little bit easier. It's a lot easier for the Giants to trade Kayvon Thibodeau for something that they feel comfortable with than trying to find a good package for the number 3 trade this close to the draft, and especially not knowing necessarily 1,000% that Carter is going to be on the board. So I believe that the Giants will end up taking Carter at 3 and then probably end up trading Kayvon Thibodeau sometime this summer.
All right, so there's a bunch of over-unders. So let's just start top 5 real quick. Will Campbell is minus 475 to go in the top 5. I mean, that's a huge number. Clearly, we're reading some reports about Campbell to the Patriots. Do you think it's a lock, Campbell to the Patriots at 4?
Lock is strong. I'd say 475 is probably short. I gave it out on the show Saturday. I think at like 250. It is my largest position in the draft.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, again, I've been adding to, Campbell first. So it's a culmination of things. It's Campbell first offensive lineman. It's Campbell top 5. It's Campbell top 10. His original over-under actually opened 9.5, Joe. So, again, like there's a lot of under 9.5 there. So it's more of just a Campbell to go within the top 5, I guess, and first offensive lineman. But it feels very, very likely he's going to go 5. I know that Peter Schrager threw some water on it today, saying they're still considering Membu and Janty and whatever, a couple other things. I'd be stunned. I mean, Breer was on our station, I think last week, and really talked about how Vrabel is in love with the kid. That he had a meeting, that with a visit with the team, they feel comfortable with his arm length, everything, kind of. There, they absolutely loved him, said he's a leader of men, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He kind of fits the Vrabel mold type of player as well. So I would be floored if it isn't Campbell. I do think that if they do trade back, Joe, the guy to look out for is Jalen Walker. I do think they like him quite a bit as well. He kind of has a lot of the same attributes off the field stuff, but I think that they know Campbell is, Campbell's their guy, and the big thing about them trading back is they know, and there's been a lot of stuff out there about the Jags. Will Campbell is at the top of the Jags draft board, and a lot of people have said he's higher than Hunter, higher than Carter. I don't know if I would go that far, but certainly feels like he's at the top of the Jags draft board in that sense, and they kind of know the Patriots are taking Campbell at 4. I think there's a good reason that you've heard a lot of rumors about potentially them trading out today in the last couple of days, and the Janty stuff, which we can obviously get to as well. But I do think that, obviously Jacksonville would love Will Campbell there. I think the Patriots are going to go Will Campbell. If they do end up trading back, I think the target would likely be Jalen Walker, which means they probably need to be above Carolina at 8. So that 7, 6, 5 range, which again doesn't make a lot of sense if you're really in love with Will Campbell, unless you're getting, heavily paid to kind of pass on him. So that's kind of where I would say I think 475 is short in the market right now, Joe.
Yeah, and just to give you some numbers, top 10, Will Campbell's minus 1,200. Jalen Walker's 900, Mason Graham's 700, Membu 550, and then Tyler Warren 175. Kelvin Banks visited the Patriots today. He's minus 170. He's the top of my tackle board, Dan. I have Banks 1. I actually think Simmons has the most upside, but he's got to keep his nose clean from Ohio State. And Membo to me is a right tackle or a guard. He's not a left tackle, but he was good. I don't know. I look at those top 10s, and then I see the name Shedeur Sanders there. He's plus 310 to be drafted in the top 10. You see any value there?
No, I don't think Sanders will be drafted in the top 10. I don't think he'll be drafted in the top half of the first round. There's a real chance that he may not get drafted in the first round at all, the way things are trending. I think after 9, he feels very clear from all the local reporting there, from Nick Underhill, from all the local guys there, that they can conceivably say that there is absolutely no way they're taking Shedeur. Now, they did leave the door open ever so slightly for a guy like Jackson Dart or maybe even Tyler Shaw, is a possibility there as well, but it will not be Shedeur Sanders at 9. That feels very, very strong there. I would put that very, very strong. So I would not go anywhere near Shedeur Sanders top 10. I think his honestly his first out most likely feels like Pittsburgh. And if not, it does feel like maybe you could see Cleveland or New York trade into the back half of the first round or even take him second round. I think that Sanders is likely the Levis of this draft, and he slides very, very far.
Where do you see Tyler Warren being drafted right now? The Colts and Jets are the favorites to land Warren.
Yeah, I've taken a big position on Tyler Warren to be drafted in the top 10. I know everyone's talking about potentially, Ashton Janty going 5 tomorrow. I think that there's a real chance that, that Warren. I'd say he's probably my third on the list of guys there who most likely is the pick, but I'd have Warren there. I think Warren has a bunch of outs in the top 10. Outside of the Raiders, I think you can conceivably make a case for Warren in any of the spots, outside of the Raiders. I mean, Warren does make sense for the Jaguars. You have a guy in Trevor Lawrence who needs big targets, who has had a lot of success with, tight ends. Of course, they just kind of have an Engram. He makes a lot of sense for the Jets, of course, who has been, one of the most talked about connections there, although they do need an offensive lineman. I think you can make an argument that, he'd be a great fit for Bryce Young. I think you can make an argument, and Nick Underhill has done a really good job of covering this for the Saints, that the Saints would be certainly interested in. That's been something that's been hit quite a bit this week. Even the Bears, I think if Ashton Jeanty isn't there, I think Warren is probably going to be atop their board from talking to some people who are, relatively close. And again, the Bears usually have some pretty strong leaks in their board every year. It feels like a team that you can get a pretty good read on almost year in and year out. It does feel like that Warren would likely be on top of the board there, assuming that it's not, that Membu is gone, and assuming that also Will Campbell is gone. So I think that you're probably looking at Warren top 10. Feels like a very strong player for me. I've added that up to -2. I would add that up to -200, and that price maybe -220. I would feel very comfortable about betting it up to that price. It's a very big position for me at this point.
All right, talking to Dan Lifshatz, over-under on Saturday mornings here on the Sports Hub. Jackson Dart is a name. He's right now minus like 125 to go in the first round. His over-under's 24.5. That's the pick. I think there's value that he could go, maybe to Pittsburgh, like you said. But right now it's 24.5. Under is plus 155. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say I'd probably bet over on that again. I think the better way to play that would probably be under 2.5 quarterbacks at this point, which again was a couple days ago was like 350, 400, and now it's sitting around the -125 area. Instead of betting over 125, you can basically just take the under 2.5 and expect either, hope that either Dart or Sanders don't get in. To be honest with you, I don't think Dart is a first-round quarterback. I never felt Dart was a first-round quarterback. I felt there was a ridiculous amount of hype, for him through this process, and I actually think that Tyler Show is probably the better NFL prospect. If I'm being completely honest, I don't know if he goes first round either. To be honest, I don't think. I think there's a real chance that we only see one quarterback go first round, which is crazy in today's NFL. But that being said, I don't think Jackson Dart ends up going there. I do think the Steelers are out there at 21, of course. There was a lot of guys there. The local guys, Jerry Dulac, who is, a very well-known connected beat writer, has basically said, they aren't taking a quarterback, and so is Daniel Jeremiah. Daniel Jeremiah did, however, kind of change his tune a little bit today and said they're open to it now. So maybe something is going on there. Maybe things are changing a little bit. I know they also have a first-round grade on Shedeur Sanders as well. There's a possibility. I think if Dart gets drafted in the first round, I think it's likely a trade back in from a team like the Saints, like the Giants, like the Browns. And again, when you're betting on those sort of outcomes, you're really hoping for a lot of things to fall in line. -125 certainly does not feel like a good enough price, in my opinion. I'd be taking the over on 24.5. That's probably where I'd feel most comfortable there, or going under 2.5 quarterbacks. I don't have a major position on anything with Dart, but I do have a lot on under 2.5 quarterbacks at very good prices. Maybe I'll buy back a little bit, to the over, in the next day or so. But to be honest with you, I would avoid Jackson Dart. I know Kendra loves him. Shout out Kendra. I know Kendra loves him, but I don't think Jackson Dart is a first-round NFL talent. I think that teams, for the most part, feel pretty similar.
Yeah, he's got upside. It's just a little bit of a reach, maybe, in the first round. Total quarterback selected in the first round, over-under 2.5. So you can get it at -110 if you think it goes under. The other one I wanted to bring up was receivers. It's 2.5. Should we assume it's I know Tet's on the board. Is Egbuka, you think he's a first-round pick? The over-under on that one's 2.5.
Yeah, so I did play some over on this. Throughout the process, there were a lot of guys who really said that they didn't think Tat would be the first wide receiver off the board. That has changed a lot in the past couple of days. I can tell you very strongly there's a lot of people who feel that Ted McMillan will be the first wide receiver off the board. I don't personally agree with it. I like Ted McMillan as a college football player, as an NFL player. I don't, but my opinion really doesn't matter whatsoever. And so I do think McMillan will be the first one. I think McMillan goes high. I think minimum he'll be gone by 12. I think that there's not a chance that he makes it by the Cowboys at 12. I think that is the lowest possible spot for McMillan. I think there's a chance he could go 8, a chance he could go 9. I think both of those are options for him as well. Even a chance he could go 5, although I think that's unlikely. But there has been, a few guys who've connected him there. Josh North's done a good job connecting him there. Same with Hayden, who also does a lot of stuff there. And of course, a few other guys. I think Charles Robinson kind of connected him there without saying his name, too. So I feel like that's a possibility there. I do think Matthew Golden will be a first-round pick, probably in the mid-20s. I feel like that 12 to 17 area really doesn't have a lot of wide receiver routes. Maybe Seattle at 18 is a possibility. Maybe someone trades up for him. But one of the things that you have to take a look at after those two is there going to be another guy who kind of comes in? Agbuga, obviously the wide receiver from Ohio State. He has actually been he's widely considered the best interviewee of the entire NFL draft, Joe. And because of that, I do think that some team is going to take a swing at him. I think between the upside that he has, plays out of the slot, I think he has first round NFL talent. A lot of people are saying his range is anywhere between like 20 and 25. I don't know about that, but I do feel comfortable that he'll be at least a first round pick. So I would lean over on that. I again don't love it at the current price, but I would lean over on that.
All right, Dan, I know I haven't had a chance to ask you this, but have you seen the Patriots win total for next year?
Yeah, I have. It's between 7.5 and 8.5. Again, I think you're kind of sitting right on that number. I'd like to see how things turn out. Obviously, what they're going to do at 4, I think that's a pretty big deal. But I mean, if it's 8.5, I'd probably go under. If it's 7.5, I'd probably lean over. I feel like 8 is that sweet spot. I think this number probably ends up getting bet up. The way things are trending, I would say it probably gets bet up to 8.5, probably closes around there. I may take a little bit of under, but I think it's a pretty decent number, for current market. Again, slightly into the under, but who knows? First year is kind of always a crapshoot. They have spent a lot of money in the offseason, and that usually boosts your win total by 4 or 5 wins before you crash down the next season. So again, would lean under, but certainly probably won't have a position on it whatsoever.
8.5 minus 140 right now. I lean under, but you're paying that juice.
Lean under. Small lean again. Small lean. Wouldn't put anything major on that.
All right, Dan. I'm looking forward to betting on the second round and then the third round because that's where I feel like there's a lot of value, right? Because the first round's so overhyped that there's probably more value in this on the second day and third day.
I think there's still some good value on the board. I think you could probably find some good top 10 stuff. Kelvin Banks' top 10 feels very strong to me from the information that's going out the last couple of days. As I mentioned, I think Tyler Warren top 10 is a very good bet as well. If you want a real long shot, Joe, and again, I threw this out to a few people today, a real long shot, Kelvin Banks to go 5 tomorrow, I think was like 80 to 1 earlier this morning. I think that's dwindled down to like 16 to 1 or 12 to 1 or whatever, but I still don't hate that. I think there's I'd probably make him right around the 4 to 1 area right now. He is, from talking to multiple people who have Jags connections, I mean, Kendra has Jags connections, a lot of people. Campbell's their OL1. Banks is their offensive lineman, too, ahead of Membu, from pretty much every single report, every single person you talk to. So I think, the way that they're trending, and if you take a look at, offensive head coaches the past few years who are hired, since 2018, I think the trend is 89% of new offensive coaches end up taking an offensive player in the first round, which has been a big part of the reason why Mason Graham has kind of gone the other way with all the Ashton Janty talk, of course. I do think it's going to be Janty or Banks. I still will not believe it's Janty until that actually happens. I think what really is going on, is that there's a few teams in the 8, 9, 10 area who probably have some interest in Ashton Janty, and the Jaguars know this, feel that they can get, maybe a Banks at 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever, and feel like they can make that swap there, get an extra pick, and make the move up. So I do think there's a possibility it could be Janty 5. I just don't know if it's the Jaguars. I would say because of the guy that they hired, Gladstone, him and Spytek, both of the Raiders, feel like offensive line, defensive line guys. They feel like, build it out kind of like the Eagles. I think Banks 12 to 1 is a pretty decent price there. I would also, maybe look at him at 6 and 7 as well. I think those are all distinct possibilities for Banks, but I think he definitely goes top 10, but fun long shot. If you're looking for something tomorrow, Banks 12-1. I think it's probably like a bad price. You could definitely get better out there. But Banks 12-1 to go number 5, I think is criminally undervalued in the market right now, just because of, again, offensive player, but a very offensive line, defensive line focused type of GM. So I think that it makes a lot of sense there.
All right, Dan, I got 2 hot takes before I go. I have the Chiefs not making the playoffs this year.
Wow.
Are
you expecting Patrick Mahomes to get hurt?
I just think the division is tougher.
Okay.
I have Denver.
I'm not there with you.
No, I know it's wild, right? It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not quite there with you. I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't hit their win total this year. It does feel like some aggression's coming for them at some point. But yeah, not to make the playoffs feels pretty strong to me. I think you need Mahomes' injury for that, honestly.
All right, well, I'm gonna double down on that one with the Payton Pritchard one. So, dude,
Okay.
by the way, somebody hit me up, said they won 30. They put DraftKings posted it. They put $441 and won $35,000 on Payton Pritchard,
Yeah.
6th man of the year.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of really good prices out there. There was an 80-1 and 120-1 in the market when you gave it out. That's what I bet.
It was 60 when we talked about it, and then it was 40 like the next day, and that's when I jumped on it because I was looking at it at 60.
I will say you moved the market, but when you were looking at it again, you were looking at just DraftKings odds. There were multiple sites out there. There were 120-1, 80-1. Now, again, you're not able to get a lot of money down on those if you're limited. So I wasn't able to get a lot of money, but I did bet 120-1 and 80-1 on that on Pritchard. So I do appreciate that. I got some actual money on a much worse price. I think it was like 20-1, but still like. Yeah, that was all you. That was 100% Joe Murray. I give you credit for that. I tailed you on that because I know you're good at the Celtics stuff. So I trusted you on that one.
I'm taking the Chiefs. I know it's crazy. I know. I'm doing it. The other one I'm doing is the Saints are going to tank this season so they can get Arch Manning.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think that's a real distinct possibility depending on who they take. Like if they take
like Tyler Warren
again,
or something.
I don't think they're taking a quarterback at 9. Like the strong reporting there from Breer, Jeremiah, everyone involved has kind of been like very anti-quarterback there. Even the local guys, Underhill as well, et cetera. Like it's all been anti-quarterback there. So if they don't take a quarterback there, Joe, I feel very good about that prediction. I'll probably be on the under as well. I think that they have a very good chance of kind of, I'm not sure tanking it's the right way, but I think they'll probably go into the year with like Spencer Rattler as the starter or some crap like that. And yeah, that's an easy under there.
Chiefs not to make the playoffs under on Saints. I'm already got 2 bets in on the NFL season, and it hasn't even been the draft yet. So, all right, Dan. Well, good luck on Thursday, my man. We'll following you on Twitter to get all your picks. Appreciate you joining us, and we'll catch you on Saturday.
I might join you Thursday. I haven't totally decided yet.
There.
I might join you.
It's myself and Barth.
I'm worried about crashing out if things don't go well 1 through 4, though. That's my big concern. I'm worried about having an absolute mental breakdown with you guys. So we'll see. I'm not fully against it. We will see.
All right, we get the 9 Dragons there as well. So very excited to eat the Kowloon-inspired menu. So looking forward to it.
Indeed. Shout out to anyone.
Shout out. All right, Dan. Appreciate you, man. We'll catch up soon.
All right, have a good one.
All right, he's Dan Lifshatz, everybody. We got to go to break. I'm Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Payton Pritchard, 6th man of the year. Where's Joe Sacco? Is Joe Sacco getting wackoed? What do we always say about Joe Flacco? Oh, Sacco. So is Joe Sacco getting saccoed?
I would say yes, Joe.
He's getting wackoed.
Yeah. and not his fault.
He's
he's a fall guy.
He's
Chris Carter's fall guy.
Yeah, he's a mercenary.
Yes.
That's the word I was using, mercenary. So there's some names. Peter Laviolette.
I like names. Not the biggest Peter Laviolette. Local guy, Westfield State guy, but... Yeah.
Let's see if there's newer next Bruins coach.
What do you think of Rick Tocchet, Joe?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is gambling.
Well, yeah. What about coaching? That maybe he could excel here. That's a name that certainly interests me.
The name I'm hearing two names. I'm hearing Peter Laviolette, and I'm hearing Greg Cronin. He was with the Anaheim Ducks. He just got let go.
How'd they do this year?
Well, they sucked.
Yeah,
but he was one of the runner-ups for Montgomery's job. So they've at least interviewed him. He got fired.
He's from Arlington, Joe.
Oh.
Yeah, let's just bring it. This is, oh boy. This is like the Bruins prospect, the kid from Billerica in the North End, in Charlestown, and Weymouth. Like, we're going to do this with the coaches now, too.
Grizzly, Coyle.
We're just going to bring in guys because they live around here. That's how we're going to find the best NHL coach.
So I like Jay Pandolfo. Yes. Is he the BU head coach? Yes. That's not why. He had a cup of coffee at the Sports Hub for a little bit. He did some games years ago. Like, he has been a coach now for a while, and maybe there's a pipeline. Like, they need to get better at the draft. Maybe there's something there. And then this guy is it David Carl?
Yes, you're not getting him.
I keep hearing his damn name.
You're not. That would be a great move. I would be stunned. I don't think that's happening.
How about the name Jay Woodcroft?
The former Oilers guy?
Yeah.
Oof.
Because you said it best. They're all retreads.
It's all they do in the NHL.
Yeah. So that's why I'm bringing up the retreads.
Alain Vigneault, Peter Laviolette. Like, it's all the same. Gerard Gallant. It's the same guys over and over again. Joe, Greg Cronin. The Anaheim Ducks were his first NHL coaching job. Head coaching job. He worked for the Maple Leafs as an assistant, Islanders as an assistant. He was a college coach for a long time, Joe. Would you like to guess his head coaching record? Just a percentage.
17%.
He's 108, 117, and 31. That is his college included.
108?
108 and 117 and 31. So an under 500 record. And that's the guy we want to bring in? I think I'm out on that. It's a 482 winning percentage.
Joe math. I was about to say 48%.
Yeah. That's the guy whose only NHL coaching job is the Anaheim Ducks. I'm sorry. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I don't want him to be the head coach of the Boston Bruins next.
Well, we'll be able to talk about that maybe after the game tomorrow. What time is the game tomorrow?
7 o'clock, Joe. 6:30 pregame. Right here on 98.5 The Sports
Hub. We'll
Hub.
have about 2 hours after the game tomorrow. Cerrone joining us?
Cerrone Battle is back. Yes, I heard him and Matt McCarthy on Sunday night.
Oh, really?
Yes.
He texted me earlier about the Payton Pritchard bet.
Oh, yeah? Love that.
I think he might have jumped on
it. Good.
I've heard from a lot of people. And I heard from a lot of people in Vegas as well, which we will do in the musings. Coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
And Cassis went deep to open things up, and also a 3 RBI night for Alex Bregman. So the Red Sox, they win again. They're now 13-11 on the season. Payton Pritchard was named 6th Man of the Year, joining Kevin McHale, Bill Walton, Malcolm Brogdon as former 6th Man of the Year. And the Bruins, they'll have a press conference tomorrow. Who's the new coach? Headlines, they are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray.
To us, Boston pride runs deep.
I'm a Bostonian!
This is Boston's home for sports.
Bow, bow, bow!
98.5, the Sports Hub.
I don't know where Street Team Joe is, but you know what they make that's special?
Street Team Joe, an expert on In-N-Out, a man that lived in California for a time.
Okay.
I've never had it, Joe. Maybe when I was younger, my grandfather used to live out there, but I don't remember what they do.
So, 5 guys all day over In-N-Out. Have a seat over there, Joe. I want to ask you about In-N-Out Burger. No, you don't need anything. You'll just hear me speak. So you lived in California, right, Joe? You were a California guy? Or?
Yeah, I lived in North Hollywood.
In-N-Out Burger in?
Here's the thing. I like In-N-Out. I don't love it. I'd 5 guys all day over In-N-Out.
You didn't even hear what I said.
No.
These two. It's unbelievable. It's uncanny.
Why did you say? Did you say 5 guys too?
I got off the airplane.
All right.
And I went right to In-N-Out Burger.
And how was it?
So you know what they do that I like? They grill them. So they'll give you like a burger, right? But it's kind of like a Big Mac has the middle bread.
Yeah.
To like separate the two patties.
Yeah.
They like grill the middle bun.
They do.
And I like it. It's like you can really tell the crispness of the bread. It's almost like it was toasted.
But waiting for In-N-Out is what ruins it, in my
Sucks.
opinion. It's off. It's not worth the wait.
What's the point of the fries?
They are not good fries.
Thank you.
They are not good fries. Even if you get them animal style, which everyone should at this point, but they're not good fries.
So out on In-N-Out?
I think I'm out on, like, when I was there, I had one 5 minutes down the road from me. I lived there for like 2 years, probably went there like 3 times.
Okay. All right, well, I'm doing music. You can sit here and listen to me. I'm going to talk about food, okay? Have you been to Vegas?
I drove there once from California.
Did you eat anywhere when you went there?
I had a couple buffets, but that was about it.
Okay. Let me get to that. So, by the way, the pool, just so everyone knows, it's 60 degrees there right now. No humidity. In the sun, it feels like 85. Without the sun, it feels like it's 50. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
It is cold if there's no sun. Like freezing.
I would 100% agree with that. Yeah.
So I sat at the pool. I got a little tan.
You do look very tan.
Thank you.
You look very tan.
I was out in the sun a lot. I did a lot of walking, Joe. And by the way, I have an unidentified. I had an.
They clocked you. Okay. At 90 minutes.
All right. Ready? So you pay. You go in, and it's just a madhouse. You just grab a plate and you go. There's like no line system. No one's merging. It's every man for themselves. It really is. I swear to God. It's Easter Sunday, so you know. So I grabbed the plate and I went right over to the prime rib. I had prime rib, brisket, ham, and pork on one plate. That was just one plate. Put that down. I got eggs, bacon, hash browns.
Wait, what time is this? This
was about 9:45, 10 a.m.
Okay, yeah.
Then I had this waffle sandwich that had all sorts of meats in it. I can't remember what they were. I had linguiça, kielbasa, every meat you could think of. By the way, I stayed off there was crab leg, shrimp, fish, poke.
So were you actually there for 90 minutes?
I was there for probably 60 minutes. Okay. I don't know if drinks were included. I saw everyone drinking mimosas. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who were you with at this point?
I was with for all the guys. So we went, and then I had that, and then I went up for seconds. I couldn't even get biscuits. and all the other stuff because of the lines. So I went over to the dessert place and I got crepes, banana, raspberry, whipped cream. I got carrot cake. I got Thai iced tea, which is absolutely unbelievable, by the way. What else did I have? The cookies galore. But if I went back to the food, though, dude, I ate every single thing you could think of. Waffles, pancakes, crepes. Is that what they call them? Crepes?
Yeah, crepes. Wait, what was in the crepe?
I had got banana and whipped cream with raspberries.
Oh, man.
And, yes, you could make your own whatever you wanted. This was the greatest buffet I've ever seen in my life. Now, it was expensive. I paid for it. Oh, yeah.
How much we talking?
$108 a person.
Okay. See, that's around what I paid for when I'm thinking of the buffet I went to in Vegas, too.
Yeah.
But it's worth it, though.
It's so worth it.
Besides, the only tough part about a buffet, in my opinion, you might get this, is even when I'm full, I have to keep going.
You're on a time limit.
You're on a time limit, and I paid $100 for this. Is like I'm going to overeat until it's very, very uncomfortable.
So I had to leave after this and go to WrestleMania.
Oh, this was on the day of WrestleMania. All right, well,
I didn't even. Okay, so that was okay. I'm sorry. We're at number one right now, right?
Yeah.
We got a couple of minutes. So number one was the everyone writing this down. Bacchanal brunch, Caesar's Palace. Okay, number one. All right. Number two was a place called Cleaver. Look it up. Now there's so many steakhouses. There's Lowry's, there's Golden Steer. Like there's all these, you can go to any one of them. Thank you. Ice Cube, his kid was at WrestleMania, by the way, O'Shea Jackson. Cleaver was amazing. 32-ounce porterhouse. But they give you how you can put truffle butter on your steaks? I got the blue cheese, but they said you should try the maple bacon. So I got both. So I just said, bring me all the truffles. So they brought them all over. The blue cheese was absolutely unbelievable. It was like the greatest blue cheese. It was like the Easter pizza that you gave me, but melted.
Yeah, on top of the steak.
But I put it on the side so I could dip.
Wait, also important question
I'm a dipper.
Is what do you get your steak cooked at?
So I asked them. I'm a medium guy, but I do like a little medium rare at times. So they told me go medium rare because then it kind of gets it's cooked a little. Anyways, doesn't matter. I ate it. It was amazing. I got mac and cheese that they put thick bacon on, like a candy bacon. We didn't even need the bacon, but they put the bacon on it. What else did I get? I can't even remember. No veggies. That was the second best meal I had.
I'm in on mac and cheese with steak, by the way. That seems like the greatest combination of all time.
It was called the pork belly mac and cheese. Yeah. Anyways, okay, so the greatest part about staying near Allegiant Stadium, if anybody goes to a Raiders game or an event there, is if you stay at Mandalay, Luxor, or Excalibur, there's an outlet that takes you right out to a bridge that goes right to Allegiant Stadium. It's like 0.9 miles. It's like from P10 at Gillette. You know where P10 is, right?
Yeah.
P10 at Gillette to your seats.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of walk.
Yeah.
So it was maybe a little shorter, actually.
Yeah.
So we had a suite. But normally when you think suite, it's buffet. And no, it was a buffet for everybody that was in the loge. So this is the menu. I did a video on it. Maybe you saw it or not.
I did see it.
We walked in. Tomahawk steaks. Prime rib. They had sausages, hamburgers, all that crap. No. I want the prime rib and the ciabatta and all that. This was the kicker. They gave us a baked potato with mac and cheese and a lobster tail on top.
What? That is the craziest thing I've
ever
heard.
At Allegiant Stadium before WrestleMania, imagine the four of us with all you can eat buffet, no time limits. No time limits. Now, the lobster wasn't like your main lobster, okay? I did a video on it. It's on TikTok. This was the greatest buffet for an event I've ever been to. It was good. They kept. Hey guys, we got more prime rib here if you want it. We're like, yeah, sure.
Did you get the au jus? Was there au jus?
They had au jus right on there.
Oh
yeah.
My God.
They actually wouldn't give us like a side of it. They put it on the plate.
Yeah.
I said, hey, can you just give me a plate of au jus? They did.
That's. I always need extra.
But like popcorn was free, candy was free. Oh, I didn't even mention this one, Skaz. They had an Arnold Palmer drink station. Now check this out. Most of the people there are from all over the place. I was pouring iced tea and lemonade. People were like, I've never seen that before. I was introducing people to Arnold Palmer's, which people called sunrisers at other places.
You brought me back in Arnold Palmer's. Ever since we worked that event in your hometown at Sylvan Street.
Sylvan Street, oh yeah.
Yeah, when you were rocking the Arnold Palmer's. I'm back in on Arnold Palmer's. I forgot how good they were. They're so refreshing. But how was that baked potato? It's like stuck in my head right now.
I had 4 of them.
Can you give me like a number on the number scale?
Funny. Yeah, all right. If it was at a restaurant, it would be like a 11.
Okay.
We were at a stadium, so 8, 7.5, 8. But when I think of something on a potato, I think Wendy's. Like, don't they like put like chili on top of it?
Yeah,
sometimes?
they're like bacon bits, like chili.
No. This was lobster. Lobster on mac and cheese on a potato. I've never done that before. Have you?
No, never had
Me
mac
either.
and cheese.
I've never thought of mac and cheese and a baked potato before.
I'm gonna let Grammy Ariano know about this, and I'm gonna put her on in charge of making this next time for the next Ariano family outing.
Now, this wasn't lobster mac and cheese. This was a baked potato with mac and cheese with a lobster tail.
Oh, so it's
no shell, no nothing, just ripped out a tail.
Okay, wow.
And you had 4. And a tomahawk, and prime rib, and a ciabatta roll.
So, and this was all before WrestleMania.
Well, night 1.
Night 1.
Night 2 was the same thing. I go, oh boy. This was after the Bacchanal. So I got a burger and a lobster tail. So anyways, my take on Vegas is that they always will win.
Yeah. There's a reason the towers are there.
It's not so much the betting side of it. I was cooked. Oh, I didn't even mention the consumption bar, Skaz. Oh, I'll tell you a little bit more off the air. So they have weed bars that you can go and buy your cannabis.
Yeah.
And then walk upstairs to the lounge and just smoke and play Connect 4 and Clue and other games.
That's like Amsterdam.
So, yes, but this is in Vegas. So I, after Cleaver, went to the consumption bar. And it was like a weed mall.
This sounds like the best trip ever.
I purchased two joints, basically. Pre-rolls, that's what they call them. One was the Mike Tyson Undisputed, and the other was the Tony Soprano. Let's just say I got knocked out by Mike Tyson. I'm not kidding. It was like 27% THC.
27? And what time was this?
Dude,
at?
it had to be at midnight. Maybe 1 o'clock
so
Vegas
this is
time.
after the festivities?
No, this was before. This was on. This was Friday night. Not even before. So this was before WrestleMania. Night before WrestleMania.
Oh, okay.
But the consumption lounge in. Like, imagine going to a dispensary and then walking upstairs to a bar where you could smoke and drink and hang out.
That sounds like literally, yeah, Amsterdam.
This was called New Woo.
That's ideal life.
NUWU. New Woo. But no, the Mike Tyson, though, oh, it got me. I had to go to bed. I had to go home.
And what about the Tony Soprano? Did you get it? Was it bad?
That was so. I didn't want. I had to go home.
Oh,
so I got to get rid of it, right? So I consumed it in the rideshare line before I left, along with some other people.
I need to go on this trip. This trip sounds immaculate.
Joe, I will tell you, Mike Tyson did knock me out, though.
Yeah.
I tried. I couldn't. Let's just say I made it like 5 rounds.
Yeah.
He knocked me
Were
out.
you the only one smoking?
There was a bunch. Dude, I was with a bunch. I saw everybody in Vegas. Like, listeners, fans, friends I knew from years ago. Like, everybody's a wrestling fan. It was an awesome trip. But the consumption bar, I'm telling you, if you get a chance to do this, because you're walking into like a weed mall.
Yeah, and like were people playing like cards upstairs and Connect Four?
There was
and all that stuff?
There was a DJ
pool.
All the basketball games were on, so all the playoff games were going on, and like it's weird for me because, it's 11 o'clock at night and like it's halftime at the basketball game. Anyways,
You
was
gotta get
awesome.
that to Massachusetts.
But I suggest if you can get the Mike Tyson Undisputed, it is the highest potency I've had.
27 might be a little too much for me.
Yeah, me too. I didn't know. I was like, when in Rome, right?
Yeah, you made it 5 rounds. That's longer than I would go.
I got knocked out. So anyways, the moral of this whole entire story, Vegas always wins. Whether it's at the table, whether it's your health, whether it's your soul. Vegas always wins. And
and breathing.
I tapped out yesterday. Wait, what's today?
Today is Tuesday.
I got home this morning. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
you landed this morning. Joe.
So I
trying to figure out what day it is.
Yesterday I tapped out. I got lunch with Sarge, who's getting hitched. So I had lunch with him, and we played roulette for a little bit.
How was the pool, Joe? You spent some time in the pool?
The actual, like the swimming pool?
Yes.
So, just I got a little bit of tan there. The only thing pet peeve, can we, is this okay?
It is musings, right?
When you go to these pools, they have music for a reason. So you can listen to the music, right? Out on people who bring their own music when there's music already.
I would agree with that. 100%.
There's a DJ booth. They're playing good songs. The songs I got were like we got like good songs. Like we got that Justin Bieber song that's fairly kind of new there.
You're getting like top 100 hits or something.
Top 100 hits,
Yeah.
but there, I got a few Drakes in
So
there.
like other
Couple
people
There was
throwbacks.
some Kendricks in there. There was No Diggity and Pony every once in a while,
Some Chapel Roan.
There you go, Jabba. Yes. Yep. So but when you're trying to enjoy the pool music and somebody brings their own boombox, out.
What about at the beach when like there's competing boom boxes?
There's no DJ.
Okay, so
Right?
you're in on the beach.
My only thing with the beach is this. Can you turn it? Can you respect my music too? You can play your music. I play my music. We play it at the same level. No cross-pollination. Because then it's cross-contamination. And we're out on that.
I think we need a beach segment at some point before the summer.
I'm a beach guy.
I'd like to hear some of your beach experiences.
I have a chair. I had a tent, but somebody stole it last year at the beach.
Are you a wave guy? Like, do you like? I love the wave. Like, that's half the reason I
Yeah.
go to the beach.
So North Shore is way better than South Shore when it comes to waves, dude.
Yeah, I usually go to Rhode Island, like
Rhode
Mesquamacut.
Island?
Yeah.
Oh, Mesquamacut's one of the best beaches
Yeah, I
going.
love and they have a good bar there too.
Yeah, they got a
Patty's.
99 down the street.
Yeah. Oh, I love the 99.
I thought about getting that tonight.
I would have been in.
I know. Why didn't I think of that?
They have good food. Their burgers are good.
The one thing about the beach is no consumption on the beaches. You got to go vape.
Yeah.
Shout out to Hooch, who gave me the Bacchanal recommendation and the consumption bar. By the way, he goes, "You got to try this new consumption." And they knew me in there. I walked in. Hey, I met everybody, dude. They were like, "Where you from?" Boston. Oh, hey, check this out. Check that out. You got to come here on. Oh, by the way, Easter and 420 were on the same day. Did I mention that? Did anybody? Because again, I forgot what day it was.
I picked up on that.
But
I celebrate
420 and Easter.
both.
It's like the day of the Lord.
Yeah, I celebrated both.
Josh,
I'm still thinking about this potato,
dude. Did you see photos?
I think I'm gonna bring I'm gonna attempt to bring. I saw your post. I think I'm gonna attempt to make these and bring them in.
By the way, I went to this place. If you like Thai food, okay? I know we're really late. Just Google Lotus of Siam. Dude, there was some stuff on there I didn't even know what I was eating. And imagine going there with Sarge, who's like, let me get a salad. It's like, no, dude, no. We have to get, like, curry and, like, I think you'd like pad thai, buddy. Like, it was that kind of thing. I'm alive. I made it.
You look good. You got a good tan.
I am glad we had a full show tonight. Oh, one more thing is Mel, the clothing, made us shirts. Mine was a little like fat guy in a little coat. So everybody was wearing their WrestleMania shirt with their last name on it. So everywhere we went, Skaz, everywhere we went, I love your shirt. Where's your shirt? So do you know? First of all, I'm not embarrassed. Okay, like there might be. I understand people have feelings and weights. But you know how many? Where's your shirt? I go. Well, they made me one, but it just didn't fit over my belly. It was a 3X. This was not a 3X. I'm wearing a 4X right now.
Hey, the street team shirts they have here, they just go to XL. I'm not fitting in the XL. They're like, so where's your shirt?
We should get our own custom ones.
Yeah, they're like, where's your street team shirt?
Does that happen to you?
Yeah, I was like, I forgot it at home.
Yeah, it was. I forgot. So everyone's like, where's your? No, everybody stopped. Where'd you get those shirts? Yeah. Where'd you get those shirts? Everybody. We had the whole entire Raiders staff of people. We're like, where did you get those shirts? So the girl who made them, she must have got hit up big time this weekend. Because we were.
Everyone wanted one.
So I have a fat guy in a little coat. Yes. That was me. Where's your shirt? And then on social media, where's Joe's shirt? Joe got left out. How'd you leave Joe's shirt out? Blah, blah. It didn't fit. And Mel, thank you. You with very J Stu. You guys are so thoughtful. This isn't on you. It's a Joe problem again. Again, I'll say this again. Most of the problems in my life are my own. What was the last thing I ate? Oh, Skaz. Cinnabon at the airport ran out of cinnamon buns. And they looked at me and they went, hey, I put one in a cup with a cover on it. Do you want it? Yeah. I went, yeah. I ate a Cinnabon that somebody put in a cup and then put the cover on it. And they go, hey, listen, we ran out of Cinnabon. I want you ran out of Cinnabons.
Did they charge you for this?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm taking that too.
Ate it with a fork and a knife.
Class.
And I was like, yes. Peaceful. And then this guy comes up to me, hey, it's Joe Murray from the Sports Hub. And I'm like, dude, I'm eating a Cinnabon with a fork and knife right now. And he goes, oh, let me see. They have no more, buddy. This is it. And he proceeded to tell me that I looked miserable. And I said, dude, we're leaving Vegas. I should look miserable. All right, that's it. Anything else, guys? I got no birthday. I got nothing. Was it anybody's birthday? Who's today? What's today?
Who knows?
Should we just do the headlines to get them out of the way right
Joe,
now?
we have a commercial to get to before the headlines. We're going to do commercial here. The classic Joe Murray 10:30.
All right, well, Street Team Joe is here, and I had to talk food with... Oh, know what the funniest thing is? You see this on my hand? This is the bracelet of the place I went to after WrestleMania that's still on my hand because I can't get it off.
Have you attempted scissors?
No, but you know what's funny? I have not yet because I slept again. But yes, does anybody else still have this thing on? And Andy and Sarge went to the Gronk pool party. I couldn't make it to that one.
Why not?
It was late. Oh, after 2 nights of WrestleMania, bro, I'm all wrestled out. But yeah, Gronk had a party and somebody showed up. Oh, Travis Scott. I didn't even give him my WrestleMania take. Travis Scott was the most talked about person Although he showed up. I know he's a rapper. He sings that song, Fiend, 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 Fiend. You know that song? Have you heard it yet?
I've heard it. I know what you're talking about.
Fiend, 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 Fiend. That's all I hear all the time. Song sucks.
So you're not a Travis Scott fan?
I don't even know why he was there. All right, we got to go. We got to go to break. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub. I got there a day earlier. And the first place I went to, Skaz, In-N-Out Burger. Now, I've had it before. 5 guys all day over In-N-Out. Have a seat over there, Joe. I want to ask you about In-N-Out Burger. So you lived in California, right, Joe? You were a California guy? Or?
Yeah, I lived in North Hollywood.
In-N-Out Burger?
Here's the thing. I like In-N-Out. I don't love it. I'd 5 guys all day over In-N-Out.
You didn't even hear what I said.
No.
You're listening to Joe. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to.
Joe Murray. Back. It's official today. It's Tuesday. And in about an hour and 15 minutes, it's Wednesday. So we have a basketball game tomorrow night, game 2, between the Magic and Celtics. Jason Tatum listed as doubtful. I say he plays. And the narrative is going to be, oh, he had to go on the doubtful, and he had to sell the injury. And I tried not to sound like anybody when I did that. But you know the narratives that are going to come out. I think Tatum plays. If he doesn't, I don't care. I will say this though. I thank God we had Noah Dalzell on today. I didn't know it was the opposite wrist. Maybe you did, Skaz, going into it. I didn't know that. So that was news to me. So basically, he needs surgery on the other wrist, and he hurt the other wrist. And he has a bad left ankle. That's the potential one of the potential MVPs of the league. Now, he's not going to win the award. But someone said that was a really long segment. Yep. I got to tell you, Joe, Street Team Joe, though, where did we find him?
He really did just kind of stumble in on his own. Like, yeah. We got a minor scouting report from Kelly and Jim, and then he's part of the show.
Yeah.
Just welcome anytime. You two together it's like your long lost brothers or something. Just one train of thought going on in that studio.
I think that what do you think it is, Joe? Do you think we just love food?
Is it just a couple guys that get overly excited about food? Joe, what was the people watching scene like in Vegas? Like, do people get? I know people go like all out for WrestleMania, but do you see like crazy over the top costumes and stuff like that?
Dude, I saw. Okay, just imagine a woman with red hair and spandex wearing a Becky Lynch outfit, looking like Becky Lynch.
So like cosplaying,
like yes, and like tights, red hair, with Seth Rollins, like because they're married.
Was Becky Lynch the one you dropped or no?
That was the lady there.
Was she at WrestleMania?
She's not part of the promotion anymore.
Oh, Becky Lynch was the one that was a big fan of Fred.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then Mercedes was there this week, or with Bird. Yeah, I ran into everybody, dude. By the way, the power of the sports hub in Vegas, like. There should be like I was thinking about this. Maybe I was the Mike Tyson talking to me, but there should be a Boston type of casino. Like, have like certain sections like North End, South E, like that kind of thing. I don't know. There was a Wahlburgers in the hotel I was in. But a lot of stuff. Oh, so you actually about the people watching, by the way?
Yes.
Do you know what the initials NFG mean? Like no F's given?
Sure, yeah.
There's nobody. There's the politeness, I think, is worse than here. Like
people not polite, you're saying?
No.
Lack of manners.
NFG.
About just anything?
Walking, space, boundaries.
Do you think that's a Vegas thing or a WrestleMania crowd thing?
No, this was a Vegas thing. No, what I think it is, guys, is just the lights are so big that you're just like this. So you're in the way all the time.
People are like rubbernecking. Like it's like when you're driving by an accident, except it's people walking on the street.
I knocked over a family.
An entire family?
Yeah, they stopped in front of me. It was like dominoes. Bing, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam. Right down, man.
It's It's got to be some hot pavement, too.
And I went, dude, you're in my way, man. And they were like, no, we're sorry. I'm like, all right, dude. That consumption bar, though, everybody was really happy. Man, where can we get those things, dude? That's something we need out here. Anyways, what are we getting back to?
Whatever you want, Joe.
Red Sox 1-8-3. Care about anything? Costas hit a home run.
Hey, big home run. I'm sure Tyler Milliken's happy.
So he had a game winner?
Yes.
Crochet pitched well? Hey, did you hear what song he comes out to?
I was wondering if this had come across your desk, Joe.
Yeah.
An Alice in Chains guy.
I wonder how do we get him on the show?
Might be tough in this time slot.
Hey, Garrett, if you're out there, I like Alice in Chains too. We should hang out. Do you know what I also heard? That if the Red Sox were to make a move at first base, they would call up Vaughn Grissom.
What do we think of Rafi at first?
Did Dave O'Brien say something about that?
Dave O'Brien posed the question.
I think he's too short, but I'd do it. Why not? I think Costas is starting to find a swing.
I hope so.
I just don't know how long they can wait. There are some guys who start slow. He might be. By the way, I watched the Netflix documentary. He does not come off well, dude.
I thought Bayo came across pretty good.
I love that.
We kind of find out more about him.
They kept telling him that he was going to pay the bill. I love that one. Did you watch the Celtics doc, the newest one?
I have not watched the one that came out yesterday.
Yeah. So I after watching the Reggie Lewis one, dude, I'm convinced that he was my favorite player in the 90s. Like, I bring up the Sherm Douglas. He was my favorite. Now that I go back on it, I'll never forget the day Jordan was like, yeah, dude, he's a good player. Because he blocked Jordan and defended him and won a game. They won on opening night. Did you know that? They won on opening night against the Bulls, and everyone thought they were going to be awesome. They sucked.
And it's like when the Pats beat the Bengals.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're going to probably hear about a new Bruins coach tomorrow?
I don't think you'll get a new coach tomorrow. I think you'll just have the absence of one. Maybe, though.
Our buddy Zach from Dave's Hot Chicken. Joe, if I can get us a box in Orlando if you do a remote segment, absolutely done. I've been to the Orlando Arena. Is there a Dave's Hot Chicken in Orlando? I'd be in on that. I got to get you guys some Dave's Hot Chicken some night, huh? Joe, have you had Dave's Hot Chicken? Okay. Josh.
Big pop in the back room. It's like, the glass breaking.
No, when Josh puts his hand up like he's eating.
Yeah, he was doing a little Jace too. A little yeet.
All right. Well, we should go to break. Wrap this bad boy up. Tell you what we got coming up tomorrow. And, the draft is on Thursday night. We'll do that next here on the Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe.
All right, back here at 98.5, the Sports Hub. Just a couple of things. I know the Bruins have a big press conference tomorrow. One of the names to watch, Mike Vellucci, World Championships head coach from the men's national team. Keep an eye on him. There's one of the names there. Charles Robinson of Yahoo Sports. The Patriots will take a tackle. It's just whether it will be at 4 or a small trade down. So there you go. And then finally, we'll be at the Brook Casino up in Nashua. Not Nashua, I'm sorry. Brook Casino up in, the good old Seabrook, which I love. It's the other side of the world. Join me this Thursday as we broadcast live from the Brook Casino for the first round of the draft.